This time on First Impressions, Britain's 2020 entry to Eurovision.
Guys, we're sorry. Please. Ladies, gentlemen, and all other gender-specific pronouns, this is Two in the Bush. I am Shaun, and I'm joined as ever in the bush by Timothy Broad.
Hello, welcome.
Well, thank you for welcoming me.
I'm more the invitee one, aren't
What,
I? You're more the host, I'm the invitee one.
This is your house we are in.
Welcome to my house, and welcome
In the
to
middle
your
of-
show.
Yes, it's a weird setup, but we go for it. I mean, Tim, would you like to share your opinions of the mouse that's on your knee?
Oh, right.
And what we were just talking about off pod?
So,
I think it's worth bringing it up.
This is not meant to be a distasteful joke whatsoever. I sincerely thought when I was younger,
Quite a lot younger.
quite a lot younger. I think it's because I was when I first became aware of light being like a form of radiation. I think it's part of the electromagnetic spectrum. I thought the laser from a mouse gives me cancer, and I thought because I'm an idiot. This was a very long time ago. Because I remember it was when we were first introduced. We had the rolly ones in my primary school, and then we got the laser ones.
Oh,
And
right.
the rolly ones are fine. They just felt funny. But then I went like that. I was like, oh, there's no ball. I was like, oh, it's the laser. I'm dead. I've died.
If memory serves, I think when I was in primary school with computers, I think we did have laser mice, but I think I was so worried about them blinding me. If I would drop one, I would, let's say, I've just knock it off a desk or something.
Yeah.
I would not actually look underneath the desk when trying to pick it up,
Right.
just in case.
My eyes! How comes every time it fell off the desk? It seems that of course it's on a string. Maybe because it's on a string. The laser points upwards. I don't know. But every time it fell off the desk and you went to go pick it up, the laser was always pointing in your face.
Oh yeah, yeah. Probably is to do with the whole being on a wire.
Yeah.
Thing. But I like the fact it is a piece of string and not a wire for you.
Did I say piece of string?
Yeah.
Why did I say piece of string? No, it's a tail. Jesus.
Yeah. Sorry, that's foolish of me. Of course, it is a it has blood and organs in it.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So should we do a wordplay quickly?
Yeah, wordplay of the week.
Okay. I've really drawn a blank on coming up with wordplay. So I think
Don't you have a backlog though?
no, Tim, I told you the backlog that I had, which was massive, got lost on my old phone that broke. So I'm gonna sit myself down. I'm gonna try and think of all of these different wordplays. Often, I think the last couple of ones that I've thought of, I haven't written down because I've been out and about at the time, so I haven't really had the chance. But this week, Tim,
this week
you can win
I could win.
a really bad town made out of a rising agent.
A rising agent.
A rising agent.
Come on! What is the stuff you put in a cake when you're baking? Self-raising flour. There's another word for it, but baking soda.
It isn't baking soda, I can tell you that.
I think baking stoke.
Baking soda.
That's the best I've come up with.
That's...
What is it? Baking powder?
It's not
Self-raising yeast.
yeast.
A bad town
Yes.
named after, was it in Bad Town?
Made out of a rising agent which you have identified as yeast.
I can't think of a single town that even remotely sounds like yeast, apart from Yorkshire. That's not even a town, that's a county.
Okay, did you give up then?
No, I don't want to give up.
Okay.
Yeast.
If you don't get it, you're going to kick yourself.
I know. Yeast. Yeastborn.
Yes! There you go.
Awful. So awful. Wow, that is the most loud thing we've ever had.
Oh my God.
That spike is closer to the sound of an atomic bomb going off.
Oh my lord, my voice can do that.
Yeastborn.
Yeastborn.
Yeastborn?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want a different one that I've just thought of, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to word it.
Oh, okay. This sounds ambitious. Okay. But yeah, sure, go for
it. A line of children's toys, which is also a TV show made out of something you put on toast.
Fucking hell, that's a deep thing. What do you put on toast? Wow. Okay. So I'm going to work on what you put on toast. Butter.
You do put it on butter?
Marmite.
Marmite.
Okay, Marmite.
You can tell I got that from yeast, couldn't you?
A toy brand and TV show. Marmite. Wow.
In hindsight, I should have left this and just written it down for another time, but we're here now.
Marmite. A TV show and toy brand.
Yes. Or brand of toys.
Brand of toys. I thought of My Little Pony, obviously.
Well, when don't you?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'll talk about that later.
Actually, no, it's not too much of a story. Yesterday, at one point, we went into the arcade and you spent, how much was it? Like £3?
I, for the first time in a very long time, got that buzz of addiction. And I had two enablers next to me.
Yes. One of them was me. I apologise. You spent about £3.80 on trying to get a pony.
Just for the bants.
For the meme value.
For the memes. And maybe use it.
My particular favourite moment was when you were doing it and they thought, hang on, wait, if I do win this, I'm going to have to carry this home.
Yeah. Well,
and then, quote, that doesn't work with a trench coat.
It's a double-edged sword, the trench coat. It's very warm, but also people give you very cold looks sometimes.
Yes.
No, I don't look like a paedophile. I really don't, I promise.
Let's just clear that up, Your Honour.
And I'm not one either. So, that's more important. I don't look like one.
Point. The world's worst way to try and throw someone off the set.
Do I look like one?
I mean, this patio doesn't look like it's got a body underneath it.
Right. Okay. Alright, anyway, Marmite.
This city doesn't look like it's been ravaged by war. These children don't look malnourished.
I can't think of one.
Okay, the one I thought of just now is Marmighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's fucking awful. Awful. Sorry, it wasn't awful. It was just so abstract.
In many ways, the point of them is to be awful.
Marmighty.
How do Marmighty have fallen? Let's move quickly.
Please.
While we're on the things, should we just do the band name for this week?
I'll go for it.
This week's band name.
We had one yesterday, but I can't remember what it was.
I think it was 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had one. We just went in conversation. Was it a phrase?
I think it was the. Oh God, what was it?
War of attrition? No.
No, it wasn't that. I can't remember what it was. It might come back to me, but this. Just in case we're wondering, whenever I hear a phrase which sounds like it could be a band name, I just write it down, leave it for here.
Shit, what was it? I can't remember.
I think it was like the Death something or other.
Death Star?
No, it wasn't the Death Star, but the one for this week is the Proper Hopper.
The Proper Hopper.
Yes. Admittedly, some of these aren't necessarily band names, but just phrases that I like.
I've got one. I've already come up with a name that bounces off. What's it called?
Hey, it bounces. Cause it's
funny.
Because it's space
Good
hopper.
puns. What do you call it? The Proper Hopper.
The Proper Hopper. I imagine their logo being like a space, maybe it's just a space hopper with like the Bowie lightning thing on it.
The band name I thought was the Hopscotches.
That sounds like that probably could be a band.
The Hopscotches.
In fact, I'm going to Google that. Sometimes we Google them just to see, just in case.
I don't know. I think that sounds like a band, in my opinion, more so than.
I feel like that sounds like a '60s band to me.
Proper Hopper.
Yeah, again, that's just more of a phrase that I like.
Unless Hopscotch is the name of the band, and Proper Hopper was their debut.
Oh yeah, or album.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, that does sound like an album title actually more than the Hopscotchers band. Let's Google it.
It's got to exist, right? It sounds. I mean, when I think of popcorn. The song Popcorn.
Popscotchers.
No, like the song Popcorn, right? That really.
I believe yes.
Oh, bam! There you go. That's a bonus, isn't it?
I think.
Should we see if the Proper Hoppers are a band as well?
Hold on. Is it?
It might not be.
We've got the Hopscotchers YouTube page, which is now opening in my YouTube thing, which is.
Ooh, see what content they do.
Yeah, let's give them a plug.
Hopscotchers. I'm really happy with that one.
Hold on, it's just loading. I mean, yeah, that one does work.
Suppose Wi-Fi's terrible. I've got a booster nowadays. I got better Wi-Fi. Yay!
They're not particularly successful.
That's all right. There's so many.
I relate.
There are so many YouTube channels that probably have like bare min.
Oh, actually, I feel like this band probably doesn't exist anymore. They have one video called.
Yes.
I believe it's 2 minutes 12 seconds long. I believe it must be a song called "My Neighbours." Although the official title is My Neighbours and then in all caps, single!
Bam.
Official music video at 2014.
Hey, do you know what
They have 0 subscribers and their video has 10 views. We've been there.
We've been there. I don't listen, we can't put it on.
No.
As we could put it on. But
we probably could.
Higher likely they're going to...
But I'm not going to.
Higher likely they're going to find it. They're going to ever build about a channel. This sounds like something where... It was probably just a fun idea that they had a long time ago. Naive child dreams.
Maybe
becoming a YouTuber.
Oh God.
That's quite sincere. I don't know. There was a brief period of time where I thought being a YouTuber was cool. Would be a good idea. And I very quickly realised...
I think we all have those kind of faces at our age.
Didn't want to become one. Because I just didn't want my life to be pretty much dictated by others.
Yeah.
And me being forced to stick to on brand. Like creating... That's what I find weird. I find it very weird that nowadays people are brands now. I'm not saying they didn't exist historically, but like it seems more now more than ever. There you go. Like,
Words.
It's if you're famous, like kind of internet famous, YouTube famous, specifically.
Hang on, what?
YouTube's famous specifically. YouTube famous, like you're.
No. I'm not talking about that.
What did I say? Did I fluff a word?
I believe you did.
What did I say?
I believe you were trying to say YouTube famous, and you said it meant to say some specifically. But I'm pretty sure it came out as scum specifically.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. But it just seems like nowadays, like when you were big on YouTube, and the money was better. It was fine.
No apocalypse.
But it seems since the apocalypse, it seems most people have either gone Patreon, which is fine. But then you sell. Then you people buying merch, and like the whole idea of creating yourself into a brand, like it's just weird to me. Becoming a brand, like if I became a big YouTuber and then I created a brand like the Timothy Broadband. Timothy Broadband. Broadband. Bam, there you go. That took too long to come out. I'm with BT Broadband. So, yeah, I just find that bizarre. Don't know why, I just wanted to have a little bit of... That was my thoughts. That's why I didn't want to become a YouTuber.
How about this for a flawless segue into something to talk about?
Go for it.
Speaking of fans wanting to dictate what content is made, Game of Thrones.
Oh, I was really going to try and plug the channel right now.
Oh, what?
Oh, have you got emails?
Are you okay?
So I just got excited. I was like, emails are a thing. Have you got any emails?
No.
Oh my God. Tell them the email now, because they might still be listening after 13 minutes.
Okay. 2 in Bush Pod. No.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's a Twitter fit. That's at 2 in Bush Pod on Twitter. If you want to email us, it's 2inthebushpodcast@gmail.com.
And Twitter is one more time?
At 2 in Bush Pod. So my email is 2inthebushpodcast. Yeah, TWI. The 2 in the Bush Podcast @gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was trying to segue that into you talking about Game of Thrones because you've been...
Put it in the description of the videos.
I do.
Oh, good, you do put it in there as well.
Yeah.
Thank fuck for that. I'll be distraught if we had to try and enunciate it perfectly every single time, which is awful. When you, I don't know. if you try with an email.
Yeah, but something happened with Game of Thrones recently. I don't particularly watch it. Tim does.
It's interesting. So,
can I just point out before you actually start about the opinions?
I wasn't going to go straight into that.
Oh right, okay. Because I was going to bring up this into that flawless segue was that petition that got started to try and rewrite it.
I disagree with that.
So, as do I. But it's at times like these where I don't feel bad for not watching Game of Thrones because at least part of the Game of Thrones community has looked at the Star Wars community and thought, yes, we need more of that.
Right, here we go. So it's interesting. It's really annoying because I've tried, not super tried, pressured, but I just feel like I think we've talked about it. I don't know if we've had this conversation in the podcast. But I'm not going to say you have a pride not watching things, but like you have a tendency not to watch it, but then look up videos about it, so you're in the know, but you just don't watch it, which I find a little bit weird. Like you seem to know lots about Game of Thrones, you just haven't watched it. It's like. I think the whole kind of watching videos thing, that's not a deliberate thing. I don't think it is.
I just think that just out of the people who I watch on like platforms like YouTube, they just start talking about it, and then eventually it builds up, and they just think, oh well, fuck it, I might as well.
But you haven't reached that epiphany of I'll just watch it, see what it's about. Because then you'll be truly able to understand.
Well, the only reason I know stuff about Game of Thrones was essentially what's it's called, film theory, which I've stopped watching now.
Well, film theory.
Yeah, I just don't really watch it that much anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's how I know a decent amount of things about what happened in older series. I have no idea what happened in series 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So. Because it's a thing with Game of Thrones, it's just, I don't know, it just didn't really, I just never had the appeal to watch it.
But
I don't know why.
It appeals enough for you to watch videos about it.
But I think what part of this could be, just quickly, is the idea, and I think it's why a lot of people get confused as to why I don't watch Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. Or after a while they do, because it's the same reason, well, part of it, or part of the reason why there's confusion, is the same reason why I don't drink, is because I just don't get peer pressure at all. It just deflects right off of me.
It's not even peer pressure.
I know, but things that
peer pressure is often used as a negative connotation. It's like well, peer pressure is negative. Yes.
Well, no,
most times it's a negative connotation. Yeah.
Well, yes, and I'm not saying that you're being like negative, but it's just because you try. At times I've been saying, oh, just go and watch it. I just thought, well,
it's
I don't
like
want
a recommendation, fam. That's just recommendation. I'm not recommending you to do drugs, which is more peer pressure. I highly recommend doing drugs. I think it's a great thing. No, I'm just like, hey, sit down, and if you have time, if you just want to... I don't know.
But equally, I've been saying that I don't really interested in it, and you still recommend it.
Do you understand, like, the illogicalness of not watching it, but watching videos about it from an outside?
From an outside perspective, yes.
It's just like, well, and
but
maybe
just
I'm
not just like, this is only occasionally when this sort of thing comes up. I'm not like watching video all the time, because that'd be completely daft.
Yeah.
But it's just like occasionally, if there's like a thing that comes up and I've got like 5 minutes or something, I might think, or just click on something and it's saying like spoilers and I didn't realise. I just don't really care. Just be like, oh well.
I actually used to kind of do something similar to what you kind of do, right? There was a period of time where I used to watch movie reviews, right?
Right.
And so then I would become in the know. But then this is interesting. I didn't actively go, I'm not actually going to watch it. The reason I actually stopped watching these movie reviews because I knew that I will probably never watch this, and this is absolutely pointless. For me to try and even pretend to give an opinion on a film that I haven't actually watched, I'm just regurgitating what other people have said. And I was just like, I just actually don't find this interesting. Because these films that come out, I'm chances are I'm never going to watch them. Or I might do, but years down the line. And there's no point in me even giving a damn about it. The only film I'm looking forward to watching and look to review about, not spoiler free, was John Wick. Because I've watched the first 2 John Wick films.
How many dogs are there in the third film?
Apparently there's a lot more doggos. I don't know how many doggos get shot. I hope not more doggos get shot. That was
well, I mean, just by logic, I think if there's more doggos, then more people get shot.
They're probably going to be used like hunting.
Not even just in the film, just
apparently
by
there's a horsey in it as well.
There's a horse?
There's a horsey in it.
Okay,
John Wick rides a horse.
Good for him.
Anyway.
John Wick pony tracking.
What, sorry?
John Wick pony tracking.
I don't get it.
It was in pony tracking.
What's pony? Is that just a ting?
Yeah, it's just the thing that kids do on ponies. The joke to explain the joke, which always makes it funnier. The joke was based on the juxtaposition of an assassin of the level of John Wick doing a childlike and innocent activity
Of pony tracking. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fam.
Yeah. Anyway, your opinions now.
So, my opinions on Game of Thrones. Well, I was just saying it's kind of awkward because I wanted you to watch it, and I was hoping to say that like Game of Thrones is not flawless, but is just good.
Yeah. Oh, actually, sorry, I'm realising, but just one last thing on this is that equally I've been recommending you some music for ages, and you haven't gone to listen to it.
But it's not like I've gone and listened to like snippets of it and just gone, I don't like it.
True.
I just haven't done it. So we could make a deal where you watch Game of Thrones and you listen to music, but I feel like that's just nah. I don't want to do that to you.
And you clearly don't want to listen to the music.
Well, no. It's weird. Why don't we? Why do sometimes for some things we have a reluctance to experience it? I had this with art. Why do I have a reluctance to experiment with something? Especially when I'm doing a foundation, which is pretty much the most experimental period of time when it comes to art. Why I had a reluctancy to, I don't know, get messy, as it were.
Yeah.
Why did I always return back to the ruler? And I feel like once one
return to the ruler.
Once somebody loses that, what's the word? Those pointless barriers for creativity and experiencing things. I feel like that's where one can enhance their life, because you can then have a true opinion on many things. Anyway,
okay, now
Game of Thrones.
You go and tell your opinions. I'm gonna drink some lemonade and write down the phrase "return to the ruler" so I can remember to put it in the title of this episode.
So, Game of Thrones. Don't want to make it too long. I try to keep it concise, but it's probably not going to be. I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of season 7. I was all right with, but I feel like it was suffering from a case of they're kind of wanting to wrap it up, and they seem to have this paranoia that people were going to become disinterested with Game of Thrones because it's been going on for so long. Like, I know show numbers tend to drop off as time goes by, unless they're really good and they keep reinventing themselves. And I felt like Game of Thrones from like 1 to 5 was pretty on point, and also because it was following a book series written by a very talented writer.
Just quickly as a thing,
Yeah.
am I right in saying that at a certain point the series overtook where the books would be?
Correct. Yes. So what?
I wonder if has that ever happened before?
No, I don't know. It's because most book series like this, I can't think of any other book series that's been such a big kind of, what's the word? Public, big thing. What's the word?
Phenomenon?
Phenomenon, yeah, public, just phenomenal. Something that's like right now, like especially a book series, apart from Harry Potter. But Harry Potter, I think the last book was finished. I think it was after the second or third film was being made, or fourth film.
May have been fourth.
But they were certainly catching up, right? And there was,
yeah, but it never went ahead.
It
wasn't like they made so many. Like, even Marvel couldn't. They couldn't like put out Harry Potter movies quicker than J.K. Rowling was writing the books. They just got to try and figure out what happens with Voldemort and Potter. Themselves.
Sure, but I can imagine if that was the case that they'd overtaken the books, it would have been awful. I just think, well, maybe not necessarily awful, but I feel like the world building would have suffered for a need to try and create spectacle. This has something to do with Game of Thrones.
Right.
Once they overtook the books, they decided, you know what, at this moment I think we're done with world building. I think the world's pretty established and we don't need to add it. Let's start now killing off characters. I mean, the Game of Thrones is not being scared to kill off characters, right?
It's what it's known for,
It's known for it, which is great, because that subverts expectations.
Yes.
But the problem is they've started killing not just individual characters, but with these characters they've started to kill, like, I think they killed the family, they were the Tyrells. They killed the Tyrells.
Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. By this point, you would have watched it, basically. Apart from you.
Yeah.
Right. So, they killed the Tyrells, And they killed, also, I think they were called it was that religious cult group. What were they called?
Scientology?
No, they were called, I remember the leader was called the Sparrow. The something Sparrow. It was basically this religious cult. Not religious cult, but like extreme religion, I guess.
Okay.
Called. Anyway, point is, they killed them and those. And now, the problem is, as fun as it was, that plotline just ended like that. And it was just, I mean, it's fun, as cool as the spectacle was of blowing up the sept of Baylor. That was the name of the kind of, basically like St. It's kind of their equivalent of St. Paul's Cathedral or, what's the Canterbury Cathedral. It's that's the equivalent. Like,
Cathedrals?
Yeah, it's basically their big cathedral. As cool as the spectacle was, and it kind of implanted how evil Cersei was, a part of me at the back of her head, maybe not necessarily them, but in hindsight, thinks, that kind of just kills a whole branch of the story has just been destroyed like that. And it seems to no avail, and now it's just Cersei. It's just now evil.
Right.
And I feel like there was a lot more they could have done with that plot. And I think that was the point where they'd overtaken the books. I think.
Right, okay.
Unless that was written in, but I'm not sure. Maybe they made some liberties just to wipe out the whole story plot with the film, with this TV show. Maybe the book was different. I don't know. They sometimes go different directions.
Okay.
And then season 7 happened, and again the world building seems to shrink, and it seems to be more about creating these big spectacles.
Right. Okay.
And also battles seem to lose all sense of the word of strategy.
And it just turned into, I've got my sword. I'm gonna swing my sword.
I am now I'm defending a castle. Let's all leave that castle that is fortified and fight outside.
I died, but now I'm alive again.
Ah, that was alright.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't know. Yeah, they're not sure with Jon Snow what happened with him. But yeah, anyway, tactical flaws go out the window. Tactics go out the window.
Can I just quickly, again, someone from the outside, I'm going to ask a couple of questions about
Go
this.
for it. I'm not an expert,
No,
so
okay.
I will probably say past if I don't know. I'll try to.
So am I right in saying that this is Series 8, and Series 8 is going to be the last series?
Yes.
How long had it been planned that it was going to go to the 8th series?
I don't know, but I heard somewhere that they had the choice. This is the thing. They had the choice to not make these seasons shorter.
Okay.
Because I think historically seasons only been 10 or 12. I think they've been 10 episodes each, right?
Right.
And each episode was, I think, 40 minutes long historically.
Right.
But now, season 7 and season 8, they were 8 episodes long and now 6 episodes long. Granted, the first one was only 2 shorts, maybe it was 3 shorts. I can't remember. But they didn't have to make them short, and they didn't have to say that's when season 8 ends. They didn't have to. I think part of the reason why they did was because they didn't want to get too far ahead of the books.
I was thinking perhaps where some of the weaknesses in the story could be coming from is the fact that you said it was season 6 when I overtook the books.
Yes.
It could be the fact that the story that they were trying to tell would work a lot better if they had more episodes, more, like say, maybe perhaps another series to flesh it out more, do a bit more foreshadowing and work that out. But instead, they only had 2 short ones to figure it out. And it could also be a case where, from what I've heard, Game of Thrones is quite expensive to produce.
I'm sure it's very, but it most certainly makes its money back. And here's another thing, which it's going to go back to being spectacle. And there's this obsession to rush it because people lose interest. They don't seem to quite understand the reason why it's got so big is because it all starts with the first season.
Yes.
And if people like it, there's a second season, and then a third season,
Yes.
and then a fourth season. All 1, 2, 3, 4 seem to follow a lot slower pace, a lot more world building. Didn't need everything to be massive explosions and battles. Sure, they were big battles, but they weren't as big, and there were a lot of episodes which were slower, as it were. Periods where it was maybe just following 2 characters or like different plot lines, but it wasn't like, as I said, massive explosions and characters being killed. It was more developing characters and developing, fleshing out the world. And then they decided at season I think it started at the end of season 6, season 7 and season 8, where they were like, people don't like the world building. We just want to now start to snap up plot lines, blow up citadels, kill a whole family.
Just like snapping my fingers.
Yeah,
sorry.
kill whole families, kill whole interesting plot lines. Just make Cersei just a simple villain, and But we were hoping, coming to season 7 and 8, that the existential plot of the whole thing, which was something called the Night King.
Right.
He was like a being who could bring things from the dead. He was like a frozen character from far up north. And he had no motive.
Right, okay.
He didn't seem to have a motive.
He was just there.
He was basically kind of like a force of nature. And I say an existential threat because the idea it could bring things back from the dead, and there's no reasoning with it. We don't know when it's going to stop, why he's doing it. What's the whole point?
Yeah.
And this could have led to brilliant, I don't know, just potential. And then in season 8, he just dies. He just gets killed.
Oh, right.
And nothing.
Could he not bring himself back from the dead?
No. This is the problem. You killed the Night King. Apparently, everybody else just dies. This whole.
Well, everybody dies.
All the dead.
All the dead die.
All the dead die again. And this wouldn't be a problem. Let's say if he was just brought in like in that one season, but that whole thing of the Night King, I'm pretty sure was the very first scene of Game of Thrones. Was these creatures that were like dead, these like half decayed body creatures, like almost I guess you could say zombies. They're kind of zombies, that are terrorizing people in the north. That was the very first scene. Like there was this like group of people that were scouting beyond the wall. That's kind of like the division between
big load of ice.
Yes, it's kind
which
of
flat earthers seem to think is real.
Exactly right. The idea is that this group come across this loads of slaughtered people. They're like, holy fucking shit. They come back to it, all the bodies are gone, and there's just this one decrepit, like, rotting body on this other girl, and her eyes are blue, and like the two of the three who are together just die, get killed by these people. Basically, this threat was established from the very beginning, and to come to a conclusion where, he just dies, he's just killed, the end.
Right, okay.
No, we don't find out anything about it. I've realised I've gone far too long. I'm really sorry.
No, it's fine, because, ultimately we spent a bit too long just trying to talk about...
I'm really sorry, but just to conclude, I'm not a big fan of Game of Thrones. And also...
well, you're not a big fan of the direction it took.
No, and the character choices have been, especially now, of all times, these characters that we thought were established as not morally perfect, but at least had good intentions... seems to have gone completely out of the world. Out of the picture.
Right.
Daenerys was meant to be this great liberator. She wants to be the destroyer of the wheel of power. The wheel were like the wheel, like on each of the spokes is like a great house or a great power, and whoever's on top crushes on those below, and it just keeps on rotating. So basically, it's a circle of power.
Right.
Doesn't go anywhere, and the only people that nobody wins, and the people that suffer the most are the normal person. Her idea was she was going to break the wheel and stop, or not.
So she was a communist.
She was kind of a communist, kind of. If you want to call it that. But for the whole of like her development, she seemed to be like this great liberator. She freed all these slaves, cities comprised of slaves. She's not somebody who's just. It's clear that people fight for her not because they're paid, because they actually want to fight for her and they believe in her and her rule.
Power to the people.
Exactly, right. And now
for the many, not the few.
And for some reason, she's just now decimated her final goal, which was to take the kind of the capital of the Westeros, which is called Kingsland.
Is it the land where kings are?
Is it Kingsland? I'm struggling. Why is it called the city? It's on the map.
He's generally got a map on his wall.
I've got a map on the wall. It is called... it's not on here. That's
brilliant.
That's annoying. I've just forgotten. Point is, her end goal... King's Landing. There you go.
It was in the Risk game that we played. It's also Game of Thrones thing.
King's Landing. Her end goal, which was to take the throne from the evil Cersei. And not only did she take... Actually, didn't. I'm not sure.
Was Cersei shagging her brother at the time?
Oh, no. For some reason, her brother... went from this person who moved away from the evilness of Cersei and had now decided... He basically just said he'd pretty much become a good guy now. He morally grey.
Right. Okay.
He was morally grey, but at least he was fighting the most important war, which wasn't between humans, it was between the White Walkers. He was fighting the greater thing. He had a greater understanding of what really mattered. But then he just decided, you know what, I'm just evil. And Cersei's evil. I'm just going to join her because I can. It came out of left field. Pretty much people had forgiven him for anything he'd done historically.
And he just did it again.
And well, he redeemed himself. He'd redeemed himself, I'd safely say. Maybe I wouldn't say he was perfect, but he's morally grey. But at least he's like, you trust him now. Right. He's morally grey, but you trust him. He just decided, opportunity. He just looked at his watch, holding his
Cersei o'clock.
Yeah, it's Cersei o'clock. Do you know what? I'm just evil. I'm just a hateful man, and she's hateful. We're great together. And it's just like, what? Why? Everything was fine. You were fine.
Right. Okay.
There was nothing. There was no reason to turn evil.
Unfortunately, Tim, I think I will have to drag you away from the Game of Thrones chat now.
I'm sad. I like Game of Thrones, but just not season 7 and 8. I'm gonna now.
Bloody hell!
I'm sorry.
You just gave the table a right whack.
I'm gonna read the books.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna read the books because apparently they are more in depth and they haven't got to where it's not going to go.
Right.
The books, I hope, will be very different to the TV show.
Okay, and on that note, I think we'll move on.
One in the hand. This is the best jingle we could come up with. Go ahead and try to make a better one.
Second section.
It is indeed. What is the second section,
The
Shaun?
second section is called One in the Hand, as you would have just heard through a very helpful jingle. But what we do with One in the Hand is each week we essentially make 2 cards, 1 each, for our own personal fake card game. It's based a lot on kind of top trumps. It's very similar
Top Trumps
to Top
or
Trumps.
Chad Valley Trumps.
Chad Valley Trumps.
That's one I had, first deck I ever had.
Chad Valley Trumps could also be a good way of describing Donald Trump's intelligence test when he came into the office, and people said it might be unfit.
Oh, well, I'm going to defend though. Chad Valley Trumps, I feel like better than the Top Trumps.
Oh right.
Especially with the car one, because the only car one I've ever seen is the Top Gear one. Right?
I feel like we may have talked about this before.
Yeah,
Go on.
I have. I'm sure I'll mention it again. But it actually had things to do with cars, not abstract concepts of coolness.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And what was the other one they did? Actually, maybe that was the only one I was flawed.
I think it was only coolness. But
Oh,
to be fair,
price,
no, that's
price. Maybe that's all right.
Yeah, but that's Top Gear. Though.
That's just talking. But I prefer the Chad Valley one because it had more to do with statistics of the car. Don't know why more cylinders means better, but apparently what's better? Isn't 6 cylinders better than 8 because 6 is more balanced and 8 makes it a bit janky? I heard that was an engineering issue with the old V8 engines.
I would not be aware. I'll be honest.
It was an engineering because there's more. It becomes less balanced for some reason. I don't know how it works, but I suppose it makes it shake. Anyway, carry on.
Right, so what? Yeah, we make our own cards, as I think I was talking about. In fact, we try and have a rough theme each week. Sometimes we do wild cards, just so we don't go completely mental. Because the reason we have themes is I didn't be like why we have themes. It's because instead of having certain topics for like a whole deck, such as Top Gear cars. Or what was the one that you hate? Skyscrapers. There was a skyscraper.
I love that one. You hated it. I love it.
Well, I just didn't get the concept of it.
Well, it's just to do with comparing buildings. It's like comparing cars, comparing vehicles. Granted, maybe buildings aren't as cool.
Because the thing with comparing cars is that if you had like a drag race between 2 cars, that's cool. What are you going to do with 2 buildings?
Well, I guess that comes down to if the idea of engineering marvels, if that interests you, like if that's like a thing we go, wow, like I don't want to sound snobby and say you can appreciate, but like I guess Stonehenge, for example, doesn't look great, but what it symbolises is pretty spectacular. It's like early age man development, and I guess the Shard, a technical achievement for building something so high on such terrible ground. It's down to if it's your jam.
Yeah,
like some people don't like Top Gear.
Yeah,
they hate it.
Yeah, fair enough. They do. But anyway, that was a weird diversion that we went on. But instead of having like themes like that, we do it for life. Anything in life.
Anything.
Fictional, non-fictional, concepts. Sentient, unsentient. There are no limits.
People. Yeah, I was saying.
For example, we have currently got 30 overall cards.
Yep.
We're moving up to 32. You've had the idea of kind of capping it at a season. So when we do it next week, it will start a second season of cards.
Or maybe have a break so we can come up with some catalogues. Because behind the scenes. We're having slightly struggling with themes.
That's mainly me struggling to think of themes and writing.
But
them
I
down.
sometimes could come up with some. I did
Yeah, you came up with this one. So,
but I just think like maybe take a break, maybe bring something else in. We can think of anything. Maybe go straight into it. But at least have a deck that we can say just for the sake of. Maybe next week we could review and perhaps play a game of it. Somehow, I know, make them.
That could be a filler week.
Yeah, if you want to like give me like a copy.
It'd be a great clickbait thumbnail. Not title. Mm-hmm. Playing our own card game? Question mark. All caps.
Like maybe if you gave me like the second half of the thing and like just sent it to me on a message, like second half of the list.
Or I could just try and like get some cardboard.
Yeah, and just make each one like try and keep them all the same size, and don't do what I did when I was younger, which put little marks on the back of the card so I know which ones are good or not and give them to myself. Because I was a dirty cheater.
So some of the cards that we have include Soul Band, Earth, Wind and Fire, Kermit the Frog, Julius Caesar, Cones, a leech, and the front side of the Titanic. Among others.
I love that one. I'm going to create, sorry, pardon me. You're going to get this surround sound effect there because I'm grabbing the leg.
I knocked that over earlier.
Get down!
There you go. Tim is having a drink. But this... Actually, no, I haven't explained the bloody scoring system. This has gone on for a while. But we have a scoring system for each card because we need them for top trumps. And our categories are speed, intelligence, and then I just went for what I know. So the other for what are style, control, damage, and aggression. And each card also has a special skill. Because why not? I actually thought that what you could do to make this a more interesting game... this is a concept that got lost in my head, but it's just come back up.
Yeah.
It's for the special skill. What you do is each side... has 30 seconds to argue that their special skill would out-trump the other one.
I literally thought the exact same idea as you.
Really?
I literally just thought with special kill,
Special kill.
Special skill, it comes down to debating.
I'm just writing down special kill as another thing for the title.
It comes down to, what's the word? Debate. There's another word for debating. Kind of convincing, conveying one's special skill and why it's more impressive.
And I thought that instead of perhaps the person who won the last game, because to try and differentiate it from top trumps, instead of having the person choose the category, instead what you could do is you could have like say a little spinning wheel with all the different categories on it, and then you spin it so it's a random thing.
Ah, right, yeah, I get you.
And then maybe have like a wild card thing or...
I think that's important because obviously we've never made this game to be balanced. So to make it so that we can't necessarily choose what category we're having to choose.
Yeah.
So, for example, there was the most overpowered card. We probably had Darth
Sidious was very powerful.
Julius Caesar was pretty powerful, I think I can remember.
I think Theodore Roosevelt's quite powerful.
Yeah, like there are some that are just so powerful, but they probably got a weakness, but you'd never play that weakness.
I mean, Theodore Roosevelt's weakness is damage, which is only 13, and his special skill, which is opening parks.
Yeah.
How are you going to beat somebody with opening parks?
Eco Warriors.
Yeah.
That's the only time we ever win.
Rainbow Warrior.
Rainbow Warrior.
The Rainbow Warrior.
Rainbow Warrior.
I believe it's a ship that Greenpeace had, and then it was sunk by the French.
What was that ship which was pirate radio?
Radio Caroline?
Yes, that was the one.
Yeah.
What happened to that? Didn't that sink or get scrapped or something?
I don't know. We're getting distracted here.
Yes, yeah.
So this week, Tim came up with this idea, and it's basically two sides of the television personality spectrum. One who when he is called upon, when we see him, he also has a chat show, but when he is called upon, then he is a godsend for...
Keeps it real.
For something that has happened recently.
And
the other, for Eurovision.
Yeah, it's Eurovision.
And the other, his show has just been ejected.
About time to.
Yeah, but we'll start with the more positive one, because you are representing...
Graham
Norson.
Graham Norson. What
everybody's favourite Camp Irishman.
I don't think anybody dislikes him. I'm sure he's got people that dislike him.
Hence why he's got a chat show.
But
you can't have a chat show with a host that some people won't like.
There was a period of time...
We'll get on with.
When I was... Probably during my depressed period, where I was trying to look at things to do with body language and
Right.
not how to assert yourself, but basically kind of how to not be taken advantage of and how to assert your dominance. That sounds a bit strong in a conversation, but how to assert oneself in a conversation. How
I know what you mean.
Present yourself.
Yeah.
And so you're not, I don't know, the victim of bullying or whatever, kind of things like that. And Graham Norton just has this incredible ability, when this person was reviewing how he presents himself, of taking control and not being like, he takes control of the chat show, like he's actually interesting. And most people go on to Graham Norton and have a great time.
Yeah.
But if you compare it against the American ones are quite boring and quite awkward. And the big thing is the fact that Graham Norton doesn't say much. He doesn't actually say that much. In the chat shows in America, the 90% of the conversation is just the chat show coming up with quips and things. What Graham Norton does is listens to people, may come up with a sarcastic remark, maybe like, for example, he might take the mick out of them, but he doesn't take a mick out of the celebrity in a way that's hurtful.
No.
In a way that's more kind of just playful to realise, we're all human.
Yeah.
Yes, this celebrity has achieved so much. For example, a good one was like when he had David Beckham on, and he was like, great footballer. But then he said, your hair choices.
Yeah.
Bit on the funny side. He was like, I don't know what happened. But you see, it's hard. Anyway, enough of that. We've got to talk about Graham Norton.
Yes. In fact, we'll just head straight into it. First category, speed. Now, Graham Norton, he isn't the tallest of chaps, if memory serves.
I can't remember how. I think he's...
It's always quite hard to tell how tall people on TV
Well,
are.
everybody's sitting down on the Graham Norton show. He's
And
either sitting down
yeah.
or he's a radio commentator.
Yeah, and also then you don't have any with TV, you don't have any context either, unless even on the off chance that somebody you know is on TV and standing next to Graham Norton. The only time you ever get height comparisons on a TV is if you've got two celebrities, one that's really small and one that's really tall.
Yeah. That's all you know, though.
Yeah.
But it's like, for example, Rhett and Link, right? Rhett and Link are both really tall.
Yeah.
Like, one's like 6'2", one's like 6'5".
Yeah, same thing. I was talking about Taskmaster to you earlier, and you were a bit unsure about one of the things that the dynamics that happens is that Greg Davies is like the main host, and then you have the mediator guy, Alex Horn, who's actually, it turns out the show was his idea, but Dave wanted to put a bigger name on it, but he still takes quite a big part in the show. Alex Horn is 6'3". Greg Davies is like so tall.
Super tall.
So
it's like it becomes abstract, the concept. Oh, God, that guy's really short. He's really tall.
And deliberately playing on this, whenever he introduces him, Greg Davies says, and sitting next to me, it's Little Alex Horn!
I've got your answer, by the way. He asked me how tall Graham Norton. He's 1.73 m.
How much is that in inches?
Oh,
did you not say? I thought you can try and you're trying to work it out in your head.
Yeah, it's like 5'8".
That is
I'll quickly check.
probably. I think that's about 2 or 3 inches shorter than me.
I'm gonna look at 5'8". 5'8". In centimeters. 1 meter. No, 172 centimeters. 0.72. That's pretty accurate. That.
Yeah.
So when I say 5'8", 5'8". So that's like just below the UK average. I think it's 5'9" or 5'10".
So my thinking is he isn't going to be blessed with a particularly large stride.
Sure. I wouldn't say you think of him as... maybe he's quick-witted.
He is quick-witted, but I would say that might move in more to intelligence than speed.
So I'd say he's not a quick chap.
Would you say... Okay.
He might be good at the dog shows, like the dog racing, because he likes dog shows. He likes his doggos.
Oh, right, fair enough. Does he?
Yeah. He likes his doggos.
Oh, right, okay.
Not as much as... what's that?
Paul O'Grady.
Paul O'Grady. But he does like his doggos.
I was worried you were getting mixed up with Paul O'Grady at the first.
I'm pretty... Graham Norton likes his doggos.
Okay, right. So, for comparison, given that he's a couple of inches shorter than me, my speed score is 15. Do you think that Graham Norton would beat me in a foot race? Because I think it would be close. But I think, given that I have the aid of youth on my side, I think I would beat him in a foot race.
You would certainly, maybe not outpace him, but you would out-endurance him.
But my endurance is pretty bad.
I think his would be worse, personally. I don't know.
But it's just speed, though. It's not an endurance thing. It's basically it's basically just 100 metres.
Do you think he looks after himself? I think he probably does. I think he's looks after himself, his body, pretty right. I don't say he's got a six-pack.
No.
I don't know. Or has he had a life?
But he lives a luxury life, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be pretty close. Maybe
Given that my speed score is 15, can I give him 14?
What about giving exactly the same?
Actually, yeah, we'll give him the same. That makes a lot of sense. That intelligence.
He's intelligent. He's quick-witted.
Quick-witted.
I'd say he knows how to engage his guests and keep everybody excited.
Yes.
Keep the jokes, keep relaxed. A lot of booze. Pre-drinks and post-drinks during the show. I think somebody actually fell asleep on the show a couple of times. What's the name of the guy who plays Captain Jack?
John Barrowman?
No, sorry, I mean Captain Jack is in Jack Sparrow. Sorry.
Oh,
that's quite ambiguous. What's his name?
Johnny Depp.
He fell asleep on the show.
I'll be honest, I'd quite like to have seen John Barrowman fall asleep. John Barrowman is a sort of bloke who kind of, you wouldn't be surprised if he never ever fell asleep.
Yeah, you know what I was about to say? I can't imagine him asleep. All I can imagine him is dead temporarily, just because Doctor Who. But even then, he looks alive. He's alive anyway.
I reckon John Barrowman is the sort of bloke with his partner. I reckon he just even though he doesn't need to. I reckon he when he first wakes up, he just deliberately keeps his eyes closed, waits till his partner wakes up, and then does the whole.
Every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Why did we not do John Barrowman for this?
Because he's not really a presenter, really, as far as I know.
Can we just go have a look at the waveform where that noise came out?
Oh, it's probably gone past.
Oh dear.
So yeah, Graham Norton, I'd say he's quick-witted, intelligent, keeps people engaged. I guess it all comes under intelligence, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking a high intelligence score. He had to have been intelligent to get where he was. He started anyway, so I'm thinking.
Honestly, I'll give him I'm thinking mid-30s.
I'm thinking 33.
33. Maybe he's not book smart as such. I'm sure he's very smart. He's not
he's more kind of social. He's very, very social smart.
I'd say he's kind of like Stephen Fry's book smart. And I guess he's also quite quick-witted as well. But I'd say the better personality is Graham Norton. He's more of a warm, I mean, granted, Stephen Fry is quite a warm character.
Yeah.
They're not quite opposites.
No, because Stephen Fry, the thing with Stephen Fry is that everybody, I'm not calling him stupid here, but I feel like everybody would think that he knows more than he does because of how he carries himself and his public persona. People think that he just knows everything.
Yeah.
Everything that there is to know will come out of Stephen Fry's mouth at some point. But he's not stupid, but he isn't omnipotent.
Who was it? Was it in a show where he could say that the world is flat and people would just believe him? Turns out it was flat.
Yeah. I think so. I think that might have been brought up in QI or something.
Yeah, it was QI. I think it was the American.
I think it was Shaun Lockie. No.
Who's the American guy who often wears a Stetson? He never laughs at his own jokes. Rich Hall, yeah, he said it.
Yeah.
I think you're so convinced that you could tell that the world, you could tell everyone
say,
the world is flat and totally believable.
No, I think he said I don't think he said flat. I think he said you could just say the world's not a circle. It's a square.
It's a square, yeah, with points.
and people would believe you.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's kind of
the 4 points of the world are Everest in the Andes, Rockies, and that big rock in Australia.
Oh, Table Mountain. Was that in South? That's in South Africa.
No, I'm thinking the big red rock.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Uluru.
Oh, what's Table Mountain then?
I don't know.
That's in South Africa.
I know, but I'm looking at Australia because I'm thinking of points on a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. The idea. No, we're getting distracted. Sorry.
Yes.
Back to
style.
He's pretty stylish.
He is.
He owns just anything he wears.
I think this is another.
It's not beige.
Yeah, but he can pull off beige quite well because he's the thing with Graham Norton is that he doesn't need to. It's like this is going to sound like I'm taking a dig at people who wear bright coloured clothes, but Graham Norton as a personality shines out enough that he doesn't have to wear these kind of weird clothes to stand out exactly. If you know what I mean.
Yes, he doesn't need to compensate in how he presents himself. That's it. He's earned the right to wear beige.
Yes, Graham Norton. I reckon he could probably do a show in his pajamas. No one would care.
No, nobody would care. Nobody even blink. Blink an eye.
Even if he sleeps in the nude.
Okay, maybe he slept in the nude. But I can just imagine him wearing like dark blue pajamas with like striped pajamas.
I don't know why, but I well, nobody does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining him having like a hat that he wear. It's like why do like stereotypical pajamas have these little weird hats? Nobody has them.
I don't know.
But I can just imagine that he'd have that for the novelty. He wouldn't actually wear it in bed.
No.
But he'd just have it, and it's just. But it's just.
No, I feel like he wouldn't wear it.
No, he wouldn't wear it.
Because that would bring attention to himself. But I'm saying he wouldn't have that. I'm saying he just has like a onesie. Maybe not like an animal onesie, just like a onesie, matching at least pajama top, pajama bottom, and slippers.
Dear Lord, we've talked so long about this.
Well, because he's a great guy.
I know, but we've got 10 minutes left and we're only halfway through his card.
Right, okay, we'll snap it up. Let's be snappy, okay.
Right, so I'm thinking number high 30s, but 31?
31, yeah.
31. Control.
Well,
he's an anchor of a show.
Anchor of a show that's been running for very long. Everybody loves him. Who's ever gone on that show?
But just to play devil's advocate here quickly, is that I suppose you could say that his control would not be as high as, say, a American TV host who's always butting in because they're saying, oh, well, you've got this and this and this. In many ways, he controls the show by letting it happen. But
I'm going to retort with that and say, surely he's got more control because
Can I just point out that your gesture for control seems to be shoving something?
It was
up something.
Yeah, like kind of like right. So my retort is that he's got more control because he can just let it happen.
Yeah,
with complete confidence. He doesn't need to kind of be.
Let them fight.
He doesn't need to do anything. I guess he just inspires just entertainment.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I want to say he's got more control. So control, I'd say like high 30s.
37.
37.
Damage.
Oh, he's a lovable man.
Yeah, he looks like. I just feel like he wouldn't. I'm thinking like maybe around the 10 mark. I think.
I think less than that, fam.
I think less than that.
Less than that.
8.
8.
Yeah.
I think Emily met him.
Oh really? A mutual friend of ours.
She was just in London, I think with some other friends, and then she just met him. He was like, no bloody way did I meet him. He just looked like a really nice guy.
Oh right.
He just looks like a normal guy. But he's not made up. He's just made up and stuff. He just looks like a totally normal person. You just think, oh, he just looks like a cool guy.
Do you reckon you could
just a good family friend?
You could just I don't know, being in a queue like just in front of Graham Norton and you just wouldn't, or behind Graham Norton, you wouldn't notice.
Yes, 100%. You wouldn't notice unless you looked him dead in the eye. Like there, you'd be like,
yeah,
it's Graham Norton.
Did I actually on that, just quickly? Have I told the stories about the wrestling shows? Did I do that last episode?
Yes.
Did I talk about the masked wrestler?
Don't think you did.
Well, very quickly because we're on the thing. But basically, what happened is there's a wrestler who wrestled for the company that I went to. Who wrestled for Progress. His name was Kid Lycos, and he wore it was actually a mask that looked like a fox, which you're going to think bad things, and it's not anything like that. It's just the kind of luchador mask that he went for. Unfortunately, he got a lot of injuries and he's had to retire recently, which is very, very sad. But he was at those 3 shows.
Yeah,
he actually made an appearance in the
was he fighting
in a section in a segment on the 3rd day, but on the 2nd day he would have just been there, probably going around the back as well. You trying to quietly open lemonade there. He was just about to say seeing his friends helping out the show where he could, and they did go around by the food area, and it gets to the point where I'm just kind of standing somewhere, can't remember where, just not trying to grab any attention or anything, just kind of standing still. I think I may have made. Somebody near me spots him, and starts talking to him, but I've got a problem because I'm not massively familiar with Progress. I know who's there, but I don't know. Like I wouldn't. Especially given one of his gimmicks is that he would be in it because he was with his tag team partner. Is they would do this kind of promo thing, and then one guy would talk, and then he'd say, "Go tell him Lycos," and he's about to start, and he goes, "Shut up, Lycos." So I don't know what he sounds like. I don't know how tall he is. And then, so there's a guy there in a mask, and I just think, well, that could be him.
Or it could just be a fan of him.
It could be somebody in a really elaborate cosplay.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I mean, just because of how much of a twat I'd look if it was someone in cosplay, I didn't talk to him. Turns out it was him. But anyway, let's go through aggression for Graham Norton.
No aggression.
Well,
no aggression. Zero aggression.
He presses the button for people to fall over in that chair at one point of his show.
Oh, he's passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I love his passive aggressive. His
but
cynicism.
It's a nice way though, I'd say.
So I don't like Eurovision. I just like Eurovision. I'm actually not the biggest diehard fan of Graham Norton. I used to be a bit about him. I just thought I used to historically find him a little bit annoying, but now I'm just like, no, he's just a really happy guy.
Yeah.
He's just a happy guy who enjoys life. Maybe that's because I was annoyed because of the press. I hate happy people. So, yeah, okay, we'll give him
12?
12, wow.
We're both thinking 12 now, aren't we?
Yeah.
12 for it. And special skill, making Eurovision tolerable.
Yeah.
A role previously held by Terry Wogan.
I think Graham Norton's been doing it for ages, though, right?
Yeah, but I think Wogan did it up until kind of mid to late 2000s. Mm-hmm. And then obviously he got older, so he didn't probably couldn't do as much work. And I mean, at that point, it's probably past his bedtime.
Probably.
Terry
Wogan.
I mean, he is past now, so don't want to disrespect that.
What was his? Do you remember what his kind of? What's his kind of thing when he was doing it?
Well, it's
was he enjoying it as well? Was he
it was quite similar to what Norton does, but with Norton, I would say the main difference is that with Norton,
yeah, you
felt like he was with Norton. It's more sass,
yeah,
kind of sassy sort of retorts to what's going on. With Terry Wogan, it just sounded like he was drunk.
To be honest, I remember when they surprised Graham Norton by actually coming into his booth, because I think he's actually lying.
Oh, right.
And they also came into his booth, and he was just completely dumbfounded because he was just being saying snarky remarks, and he had to try and also pretend that he's been. I'm not saying he doesn't enjoy it.
Just pretend he's being nice about them.
He just say, oh, it's because everybody else is so happy and wow, what a great show. Obviously, all the presenters really terrible.
And cheesy as all hell.
And sometimes you could think that Graham Norton could do cheese well, but I think he's realised this is too much cheese, man.
Too much cheese for me.
Gorgonzola, too far. He's definitely, and he's snarky and cynicism, beautiful. But he's just hi everyone. And he's just that was a nice surprise. It was funny. It was just really funny. Anyway, some of
the best parts is when they have this. I don't know if they did it this year, but a couple of other ones they had these kind of brief. Before entrants would come up, you show footage of the entrants doing things in the place where they were, or something, in Portugal or Israel or wherever it might be. Mm-hmm. And I just love some of the comments they make about that, which was great. Anyway, right, so let's move on to the other end of the spectrum.
We have
no introduction. Jeremy Carr.
Is it Friday night or Saturday night? Graham Norton. Probably Saturday night, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Or Friday night.
Yeah. I've already said Jeremy Carr, but
sorry, Jeremy Carr.
So
that's it all, really.
Ultimately,
daytime
the fact
television.
that we're low on time is good because the less we have to talk about this guy, the better.
I feel like the show. I
mean, maybe the guy himself might not be too.
I don't think
murderer.
I don't think Jeremy Carr is. I think
it's just the thing that he was the world's biggest enabler.
Yes. And I feel like he's kind of like God,
what?
Gordon Ramsay.
It sounded like you said, I feel like he's God.
No, Gordon Ramsay, right?
Yeah.
That persona he used to have of just being an angry person.
Yeah, and swearing.
But he's kind of moved away from that now.
Yeah.
Right? I think for the better. I feel like that's kind of what, very similar to what Jeremy Carl is.
Yeah, to be fair, when he's not a bad person, but I feel like we are kind of taking assumptions of the show that he presented.
Sure.
I remember there was a thing in this image going around of basically with audio of what was happening in the show, and there was a story of a bloke who had been physically abused by his girlfriend, and then the crowd started laughing, and Jeremy Kyle gave the crowd a massive bollocking for that.
Well, they
Basically,
started laughing. Why did they start laughing?
because of the people who go into crowd of Jeremy Kyle are not going to be progressive people, are they?
Well, who was?
'Cause they were just-
who was abusing him? Was it they say
The girlfriend was physically abusing the
Oh,
guy.
and people were laughing. Saying, the guys are weird. And he was just like,
Yeah, and
oh.
he said, "Look, if that was the other way around, you would not be fucking laughing, would you?"
No, so yeah, he put them in there. Brilliant.
Yeah.
There we go. He's a nice. He's a nice guy
Yeah, but we're just casting assumptions on the show.
on
that
the
he had.
show. But it's more
So-
about the show.
Yeah, in many ways.
and the persona that he puts onto the show.
Yeah, in many ways, we're not trying to besmirch him as a bloke, but it's just as a whole, as a package.
As the package.
The reputation of his show is going to come into this.
And I guess the reason why you don't probably see him on any other shows is because kind of like I don't say he's one trick pony, but when you have Jeremy Kyle being that persona, it's very hard to imagine him as anything else. Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
That's the least. You can't imagine him doing Desert Island Discs.
Oh God!
I mean, he might have been a Desert Island Disc.
In many ways, it's almost quite
I bet
fascinating.
you he hasn't. I know pretty much everybody's been on Desert Island Discs, but I bet you he hasn't.
I like to think that if he did, they're just really, really kind of calming ambient music that he just needs to get through. Anyway, Speed.
Speed.
I mean,
I don't know. A lot of people running around in the show, running away. He doesn't particularly run.
running away from the truth.
Yes! Yes. But is he fast? I don't think he's fast.
Right.
He's more just anger.
I reckon he'd probably be faster than me.
And I think faster than Graham Norton.
So I'm thinking maybe 18 for Speed.
18 people. I'm just very quickly to see if he's on Jeremy Kyle.
Right, you see what he looks like.
If he's been on Desert Island Discs.
Oh, right, okay. Well, in the meantime, what about intelligence?
No, he hasn't. He
Right,
hasn't been on
okay.
it. I knew it. That's the one person they're yet to do. I'm waiting.
I like the Desert Island Discs. It's almost in the same sort of spot as what's it called? Almost as the Archers, where it's just kind of there and nobody really minds.
Yeah.
So you understand why you'd want to listen to people talking about their Desert Island Discs, but it's not exactly like hip and something.
I think Desert Island Disc kind of brings about just the more human aspect of people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, intelligence. I don't think he's daft. I don't think he's dumb.
I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's probably...
Some of the people who go on the show, on the other hand,
you
maybe.
can argue that he's clever because I'm sure it's not his real persona. I think he plays that persona very well.
Yes.
So he's kind of like, well, I say Gordon Ramsay, or who else is another good example? He plays a persona who's pretty much completely opposite of what they truly are.
Alan Partridge.
That's actually quite a good one. Well, it's not even the real person, Alan Partridge.
But no, it's Steve Coogan.
Yeah, Steve Coogan, but like he plays Alan Partridge, like wow, complete different persona. Alright, so what we're saying is intelligence.
Yeah, I'm thinking...
I wouldn't say it smiles Graham Norton.
No, 25? 26?
26.
26.
26.
Right, okay. Style. It's just normally just in a suit.
Yeah, always in like a very kind of like navy blue suit with a white shirt.
I see a grey blazer.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know why. I've never seen the show, so you...
Oh, I have, because obviously many faults of my phone. We haven't had an edition of the Windows Phone faults. You remember we had this at the very beginning? It doesn't sign into anything anymore.
Right.
Every time I have to sign... It's weird, because I'm signed in... it signs me out for some reason, but then when I come to sign in, it's not like it's forgotten all my information, it remembers it all. So it just chooses not to sign me in anymore. And then you can just click the option to sign you in next time. Doesn't make a difference.
That's bizarre.
And I've tried to do the opposite, doesn't matter. Anyway.
Right, so a suit works, but...
I found it... Oh, look, I didn't get to my point.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Didn't you?
YouTube...
Shit.
No, it's very brief, very quick. YouTube, when I'm not signed in, sometimes I don't notice. I notice it when Jeremy Kyle appears, because that's apparently what that's what apparently the unsigned in YouTube people use, because they don't know how to use their emails.
Anyway, right, yeah. So I don't think I don't want to put it as too low of a score though, because I feel like that just, if we do that just open the floodgates to anybody who wears a suit.
Yeah.
So I think 25, straight down the middle.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm going to give it... I'm going to say less. I'm going to look at a different angle. My angle is that, yes, you can't do... suits are fine. I can't really like suits. But I guess like it's kind of like a... I don't know. It's just a sad... I couldn't imagine wearing anything else. The only thing that he could ever wear on that show is a suit.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that's a good thing.
Right,
I feel like the nature of the show just brings down anything you'd wear.
What about we do a compromise and say 21?
21. Do you kind of understand where I'm going there?
Yeah, I can understand.
Like, yes, the suit's probably the most appropriate. Still doesn't mean that it kind of boosts him to make him look smarter. It's just sort of just like,
Yeah.
It's still a lost cause at that point.
Right. Control.
Control.
Well, I mean, he is the host of the show.
He can slap. Well, he said he can metaphorically slap people
Right,
in the face when it comes to kind of their BS.
Yes.
And as you said, apparently, what's the word? Rallied. He rounded up the nonsense of the audience.
Yeah.
I'd say he's got a lot of control. Not as much as Graham Norton, because I feel like here's the example. Graham Norton he has so much control he doesn't even need to do anything.
Yeah.
The
So
show
I think
runs itself. It's like clockwork, where he's the more of example where he's got control, but he always has to maintain.
actually, I
it.
suppose in that sense that he can't. It doesn't. People can just start shouting, and he doesn't. In almost incoherently at points from the audience. That's not in control. So perhaps it's a low score for this one.
But nobody's ever beaten him up.
I reckon there've been people who've tried.
Yeah,
or
but they've got
wanted
security guards. I'd say he's got control, but he can't let you be. He has to be constantly on it. He can't let it slip for a second. He has to be strong all the time. Whereas Graham Norton can just kind of sit back and kind of become one of the stars with guests.
Yeah.
And just kind of be part of this kind of just chill. It's like almost like Stephen Fry, going back to that, where Stephen Fry kind of just lets it happen as well. He's like a very passive host, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, so perhaps then we go for like another sort of 20s, like
I'll give it above 25.
28.
I'll sing less than that, 27.
27 we'll go for.
Yeah.
Damage. I mean, this show is damaged some people's lives.
Well, it's I'm sure I'll state it again if I haven't stated it already. If I have stated it already, I'll state it again. When you go onto that show, what you're saying is, I'm incapable of sorting out my own problems, and I feel like it's a good idea to have an angry man shout at both me and my other half, because that'll make things better.
Right.
And I get free money. You're kind of throwing away any kind of pride or reputation. You're basically saying, regard that, I just want money.
Yeah.
Unless you obviously, as our friend Jordan theorised, or supposedly that half of them are just made up by people, they're just fabricated. It's just, which I wouldn't be surprised. But either way, it's not a great look.
No, but I think overall is a damaged score.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for Jeremy Kyle, we don't know. It's quite hard to score.
I'd probably put high damage.
High damage.
Oh, is it damaging?
No. I
Is
think
he damaging?
No,
as a person? No.
I think it's got to be high aggression, not damage.
High aggression. I think
we do
well,
damage.
I think by the point
Overall, he hasn't like actually like hit anyone, though, has he?
he's not a damaging person. Well, he's not damaging in the sense of aggressive, like in a mindless aggressive way. He damages people probably where they need to be hit, like pride.
So maybe we go for like a 15, say.
Yeah, I actually just kind of say his damage is like kind of harsh justice. Kangaroo court, harsh justice.
Right, 15 damage?
Yeah, 15, sure.
Now, aggression. This is going to be a strong point, I
It's
feel.
gotta be. I'd say I can't think of many people more aggressive. I think he and Gordon Ramsay.
Weirdly,
Ramsay,
I'd say he'd actually go above Gordon Ramsay in a sense, because to me, when Gordon Ramsay gets aggressive, you can kind of tell that it's an act. Because it becomes comical.
Yes, it does.
Jeremy-
We got the bits of bread. I'm an idiot sandwich.
Yes, that is comical. That when Jeremy Kyle, that it didn't. It just felt like
This was sincere.
It
Or
did-
came across
yeah,
sincere.
it's just-
This is just an angry or aggressive person. Or no, as aggressive means he's not like a counsellor who brings about people's calmness. He brings about rage
and destruction.
So I'm going to say 40.
I was going to say
3, 4.
42? No, 41.
41.
It's episode 42.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it was, because I was 40 with the first impressions of the film. I want to ask the question, who's higher with aggression? Historically, who's got higher aggression?
Oh, right. Do you want me to find the highest aggression score so far?
Yeah, the highest one.
Right,
I'm sure
okay.
Cities will be up there.
On.
Caesar might be up there.
Hold on, give me a second. So I'm really struggling with this. It's gone like Phil for a second.
Yeah.
Palpatine's got 48 aggression.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. What else?
I'm pretty sure.
Robbie Williams has 31.
Why has he got a high one?
I think he punched someone at an award ceremony once, or something like that. I can't remember. Julius Caesar has 37.
Ooh. Oh, that kind of sets the tone, doesn't it? Julius Caesar only 37. I guess at the 7.
I know, but in many ways, he wasn't particularly aggressive. He was just a tactician.
Yeah, although he only went a bit power crazy.
He did. But before let's just leave that be and go for special skill.
Oh no, we need to put a number for it. 41, 42?
Yeah, 41.
Okay, 41, sure. Okay.
I've already written that down.
The only way you could get 50 would be the raw wrath of Satan. It would be 50.
If we eventually get to that card, there it will be.
There.
But, special skill.
We should have probably just done God and Satan.
Oh, God.
Then we got him.
Yeah.
Joke. Anyway, so special skill.
There's something in my head,
I've got one.
but I feel like it's quite insensitive.
What's that?
I'm leaving a bit of space just in case I have to cut this.
Okay, fair enough.
The thing that's in my head, and I can't get it out of my head, so don't. I kind of have to say it now. It's God, this is awful. It's
Dear.
going round council estates with a net.
Fucking hell. You're going to hear my one, which was a different angle.
Okay.
Very different angle. Do you reckon you have to cut that out?
I'll see.
Oh, you'll see. Well, my suggestion, which is perfectly clean and fine, is that his special ability is, I don't know, he's like I don't know how it's best to phrase it, but he has the inert ability to find out who's the father, rather. What would you come under that?
Oh, right, so pregnancy test.
That's not a... No. Like, he has an ability... And the lie detector, like, he kind of has... He knows when the truth is being told and he knows who's the father.
In which case, then, is his special ability, where is she?
Where is she? No, I think it's like mild omnipotence.
What?
Mild omnipotence.
That's a...
Very specific omnipotence.
No, you can't give omnipotence to Jeremy Kyle.
Jeremy Kyle, omnipotence.
That's the maddest thing I've ever heard. Like, I'm just gonna... Right, let's say... special skill, call-out culture.
Call-out culture. Yes, perfect. Perfect. He's the embodiment of the dark side of call-out culture. He just becomes
Sorry, I'm still kind of mild omnipotent.
He's a mild
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write... I've now literally... I'm changing special kill in the title to mild omnipotence.
Fair enough. I would. So there we go. Jeremy Kyle.
Mild omnipotence sounds like a band. And I think we'll quit while we're ahead at this stage. I think let's move on to the next section. It is time for Almost Satire.
It is indeed. I'm looking forward to this.
As am I, but in a slightly different way, I reckon. Because what we do each week is that we take it in turns, and one of us gets 3 news stories. I try and get them from the last couple of weeks that it would have been. Mm-hmm. Tim uses a nice little resource he has called the Fake News Game, which is almost designed for this.
Perfect Christmas Day. Although it's Boxing Day present from Secret
Right.
Santa.
And essentially there'll be 3 stories. One of them is fake, or modified to be fake.
Mm-hmm.
And it is our co-host's job to figure out which one is a fake one.
Indeed.
It's quite a simple game.
Very simple game.
However, in execution, it varies.
What was I going to say? Yeah. What are currently the scores?
Well, currently... Now, originally, when we started this,
Yes.
Tim didn't have the fake news game.
So we played less rounds of...
We played quite a few less rounds of...
4, 5?
Yes, 4.
4.
This is the 5th one
Mm-hmm.
in total. Beforehand, I just took 3 stories to Tim each time.
It was me receiving the abuse.
So, when I am giving out the stories and Tim has to guess,
Yeah.
he has got the right answer 4 times. And I have fooled him 9 times.
Which I can't remember if that's good or below average.
I think
it's
it might...
just a smidgen below average.
Yeah.
Because the average is
Well, if you're
1
talking
in
about
3.
below average,
Oh dear.
because with this game, perhaps due to the timelines and such, you can't think of recent knowledge to pick it up. Maybe just because it's more fiendish, more professional writers than me. I have yet to guess
Correctly.
correctly.
After 5
Tim
rounds?
has won 4 times.
4 times.
This is the 5th one. Perhaps this could be.
This could be
Given it's episode 42, and as we all know, 42 is the meaning of life. Perhaps this episode can show me whether I will ever get one right, or whether or perhaps even it's life. This episode, the outcome of this game could determine whether in my life I am a success or a failure.
Jeez Louise, damn, all the pressure. Well,
Well,
sure.
I mean, I might as well, but.
I remember you earlier saying in a group chat, I think, mini victories. This seems like this victory
Little
counts
victories,
for every
yes.
little victories. This seems to count as everything.
That was when we were talking about Eurovision. I
Yes.
brought up the fact that we only got 3 points from the
I
public
love the
vote.
fact...
Germany got none.
Oh, do you know what? The hosts of Eurovision, very quickly, terrible creating suspension. Or at least a suspension of like a close... They gave the illusion of a close competition. Do you remember the end? The very
Yeah.
They were like, they're holding it for like long... It was like you got 91, which is good.
But nowhere near enough.
Nowhere near to even make it even remotely interesting.
And it was just like... And also, they left it hanging for about 20 seconds too long.
More than that, because they kept repeating it over and over. I think basically what happened was the information hadn't come through yet.
Yeah. So they wait... Yeah.
And I was just like... And it was like 91. It was just like, oh. All right. That's what I think basically the information hadn't come through. They expected me a lot closer than it was. And the guy was just like, oh... It wasn't even close, was it? Man. But at least we weren't Germany, who didn't get a single popular vote.
No.
Interesting.
Can I just ask quickly, who are the experts? Quotes.
I'm pretty sure they are unelected members.
Because oftentimes you just get these kind of countries that seem to do really well and just get screwed out of their results by not having getting hold of popular votes, but none from the experts. I think this year was Norway. I think it was.
Right, yeah.
They did really well on the popular vote, but just...
Yeah, that's the thing. They were like second place at some point.
Yeah, but they just got no experts votes at all. They got like 40 points.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. For some reason. I mean, if you want to talk about experts, I think clearly then they should have probably hypothetically gone from the UK just because the UK does kind of the best pop music in the world. Much pop music comes
Well, it's the one
from us.
that probably has the biggest reach.
Yes. So why? Maybe it's just because it's the most disappointing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Also, I was quite annoyed to hear that if Australia wins, they wouldn't hold it in Australia. They'd hold it somewhere in Europe. Because I had the idea of perhaps just go over to Australia to do a sneaky deal and say, hey, we're quite similar. So if you win Eurovision, we hold it in London. Deal?
Might make sense.
Actually, we haven't always held it in London. I think they held it in Harrogate once.
They should hold it in Hastings.
Good conference centre. In fact, actually, Harrogate got a good conference centre, which is actually the backup Parliament building for if the current Parliament building gets blown up or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the idea is it's far enough away from London, so if London itself is under attack, you can still...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Govern from far. Very good idea. Well,
There you go.
let's just delay the inevitable.
Yes.
Something's going to happen.
Indeed.
The odds are always against you 1 in 3, but as time goes on, you'd expect it to happen at some point.
Hopefully. I don't hope that my thoughts are that much of a poison to my brain and logic and maths as it seems to be.
Are you ready? I might.
Yes.
I'll do a Eurovision, and when it comes to the revealing of things,
I was just gonna leave it
I'll
forever.
leave it hang, and then it would just be like it destroys all expectation. Like, what if I reveal it straight away? Like straight away, no expect. Right. Anyway.
Right.
you know what? I'm going to do a complete shuffle. Because
Okay.
I've been mildly, like, what's the word? Paranoid that you make a track of, like, which one I go for first.
I
And then
don't.
work out a pattern.
I don't.
I feel like you'd work out a meta for that, though. I reckon you'd learn a meta of my mistakes. So, here we go.
Yes.
The gods have decided that this will be my first card.
Shuffling
The
gods.
13th of January, 2017.
Okay, relatively recently.
I found I quickly through all of them. 2 2017 and 1 2016.
Okay, right.
There are a couple that are like really old.
Yes.
But I try to keep those away if I can help it.
But I'd say just leave them in there because it's a luck of the draw. But anyway, get on with the thing.
Construction worker found the next day after setting himself in concrete.
Right. Okay.
A construction worker who fell waist deep in concrete at the end of his working day was discovered trapped by his colleagues the next morning. Gary Hurst, 31, had fallen into a hole he'd filled with concrete and was unable to pull himself out. A team of firefighters were called in to assist in the release of Gary, which took 2 hours.
Okay, right. My first thoughts about this.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of hole do you have to be filling in so if you fall into it, you go waist deep?
I don't know.
Because you don't just fill sinkholes with cement.
No, you can't. I don't know.
Okay. Now, secondly, if he couldn't pull himself up, it was at the end of the day. So, presumably, none of his colleagues heard his cries beforehand. Which is possible, but equally, I don't think it's not a case on a construction site like you get an office, say you get like one person who stays in later. That doesn't work like that. Everybody goes home at the same time. But I will leave those thoughts into my brain and move on to the next one, because of course you can't make a decision straight away.
My only comment I have to make about it is that I know nowadays we're paranoid about health and safety. In this situation, clearly it didn't matter if he was wearing a hard hat or a high visibility
Jacket.
jacket.
Did you really say high visibility leather?
Vest. I was going to say vest.
Oh, vest.
If people hadn't returned, he would have died. And then I think the people who write the rules about health and safety had no idea what to write. Wear snorkel.
Also, actually, hang on, quickly. So not only is he in a hole that he's concrete up, which is waist deep, he's presumably not filled it to the top if he couldn't get himself out.
Unless the hole just wasn't that deep.
But it wouldn't be waist. It have to be waist deep though, by definition.
Yeah, the hole was.
I know, but if it's just waist deep, you can just kind of.
I don't know the consistency of concrete, Jordan. Sorry, Shaun.
Thank you.
Sorry. I don't know the consistency.
I know,
Of
but concrete. If you've fallen into it, if you're quick, you can get out of it because he's not going to dry straight away.
Custard apparently was quite difficult. Do you remember that episode of Brainiac?
Oh yeah, because he's non-Newtonian.
Yeah, I don't know if concrete's
Not non-Newtonian.
What does it even mean? It basically, like the more
It's a liquid that acts as a solid
when
under
heavy impact,
and brief
I think
impact.
everything does that. Water does. Like, acts like
Slightly,
mildly.
yeah.
I just want to make loads of non-Newtonian fluid now.
Custard.
Just make my camouflage some of my white tiles with it.
I had the idea of instead of having a water balloon fight, have a custard balloon fight.
That would be the most dangerous thing. That would not people. That would be like the snowballs that people fill with snow. It was fine, and I had to say the snowballs full of snow.
Right, okay, guys, we're gonna hollow out this snowball. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put more snow in it,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna put more on, and then more and more. Okay, boss. I get what you're saying. How about if you want, instead of perhaps filling it and make, because it's obviously a very big snowball, you've packed it to the brim there. Why don't you put another one on top?
Ugh, yeah.
And then build that one up.
And put a face on it.
Yeah, put a carrot in it.
Yeah, when we were parking, used to fill with stone. Do you remember?
Oh yeah,
you jumped the table.
We've both done it.
Yeah, we both done it. It's alright. Next story.
Yes.
Real.
Oh, you pillock! You absolute pillock! It's a bit of bad section for you. Each card has a header of whether the thing is real or fake. And Tim just read it out.
Do you know what?
It didn't even. I want to. You know what? I just need to hide the cards because I just need to give you a hug.
Do you know
It's
what?
just-
Do you know what? Have you seen what the cards without it on the floor?
I didn't. I wasn't
Okay,
looking.
well, you know what?
Because that would be taking the piss at that stage.
Oh, to be fair though, you don't know what the first one was.
No, and I don't know what the last one is.
You don't even know what this one is. I could change them up or not change it up.
Oh, don't do that.
Literally, it's all I've just said is one's real. Actually, that's all I've really done. It's dumb.
Don't change them though.
I'll change the order I'm going to say them in.
Read out the one you were going to read out.
No, because then you know what it is.
Hang on, no, that's just
can
not fair. Because then I've got to try and figure out which one you said was real.
No, you don't have to. That's the game still stays the same. The game retains itself. All I've just said is one's real.
Okay, I would pay good money for you to be shuffling them and read out the same one you just read out.
Well, I didn't even know.
As in the concrete one.
That would be funny. Right. I don't even know which one the story was now. I don't know. I'm so dumb.
Okay, so I suppose we're back where we were.
Yeah, all you know is one's real.
Well, I knew 2 was going to be real. I think
Yeah.
it's one that's confirmed.
Okay.
If you do it for the last one.
Okay. 17th of October 2017. Tourist trapped in Waterstone's bookshop after closing time. An American tourist in London found himself trapped in a Waterstone's bookshop in London.
Trapped in a book.
Trapped in a book. The big book. Waterstone's bookshop in London for 2 hours after it closed. After realising he'd been locked in, David Willis took to Twitter asking to be let
Follow
out.
us on Twitter.
Willis was freed when the surge of people retweeted his message and the police were contacted. You can think of many worse places to be trapped overnight. That's what she says at the end. We can think.
Right.
We can think of many worse places to be trapped overnight.
Right, okay, right. So I'm just trying to analyse this story. Now, tweeting out, I suppose that does make sense. But he would have had phone signal in there. He could have just called the police.
Too easy.
Perhaps he didn't know the number. Perhaps he tried to call 911 and he just got denied.
What does it say? American tourist.
Now, also what I want to pick up on about this, it's a very believable thing. But I want to pick up on his name.
Oh, well, David Willis.
David Willis.
David and Willis. Willis.
I reckon, if this is fake, I reckon what they've done is they struggled to think of a name, thought the first American they could, which is Bruce Willis, and then thought Dave Willis.
Dave Willis. I suppose Dave Willis sounds more English. I can't think of many American Daves.
Yeah, but David, though.
David, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, right. Last one.
Nothing more?
Nothing more.
Wow, okay.
I'm going to take this opportunity to get a drink because I'm getting a bit throaty.
Sure.
You read out the thing and I'll...
Sure. So, 14th of March, 2016. British Airways flight forced to land because of smelly poo.
Right.
A British Airways flight from London to Dubai was forced to turn around and land after someone noticed an awful smell coming from an overflowing toilet. Cabin crew were unable to fix the issue, forcing the pilot to turn it around, landing back at Heathrow Airport. The entire debacle, blamed by BA on liquid fecal matter, led to a 15-hour delay.
Right, okay. So basically someone that had diarrhea on a plane. God knows how the fluid blocks the loo and not having solid, but...
What does it say? Liquid fecal matter. It's funny because it says liquid fecal matter, but that could also be the matter of the fecal liquid. The matter of fecal liquid. Liquid
I
fecal.
suppose it could be, but I mean...
It's not liquid fecal matters like describing what it was. I thought it was funny. We're reading it.
Right, okay, so...
British Airways flight from London to Dubai. Forced to land. Turn around. And land.
Yes.
After someone heard an awful smell coming from an overflowing toilet.
I'd have thought that the problem would have just been that the toilet was overflowing, not that it was causing a bit of a stench.
It's fine.
Yeah, that implies that there have been other flights that the toilet's just been going up like some sort of fucking chocolate fountain. And you just thought, oh, we'll just carry on.
Isn't that just the Ryanair motto at that point?
But we'll just carry on.
Yeah, just carry on.
For us to carry on, that'll be £5.10.
What?
For us to carry on, that'll be £2.50.
Toilet block tub? You got a bath bag? Use that.
Yeah. If that's overflowing, then you've got real problems.
Well, the
Your bath bag.
Oh, you just shouldn't be on that plane at that point.
No.
Do you know what? I don't get plane sick.
Neither do I.
I do get... I feel queasy when I'm on a roller coaster, but I really enjoy them.
Right,
I just
okay.
have to hyperventilate a lot and then yell afterwards.
Not on the right, just you've
Ah!
got yeah, just, excuse me, do you want your picture? Ah!
Why are you doing that? It's 'cause
Oh my god, look at that.
'Cause it doesn't
Look
want
at
to
that on
sit.
the waveform.
That's this point, right? You ready? So, there are your 3 stories. Want to recap?
Right. Say it
read the headers for
was.
each one. A construction worker found the next day after setting himself in concrete. That was on the 30th of January 2017.
Okay.
17th of October 2017. Tourist trapped in Waterstone's bookshop after closing time.
Okay.
And 14th of March 2016. British Airways flight forced to land because of smelly poo.
Right. Now, all 3 of those being there,
That's all 3 of them.
I realise what I've got to try and do is instead of trying to, because I think I might have tried and been playing it a bit too much, just like how would be better to play it if me coming up with stories, try and think of what they could have been or something else like that.
BS
But
changes.
I'm not thinking about, well, maybe not that necessarily, but just trying
The
to think
salt
of,
from that is long gone, I can assure you.
I'm not, basically what I'm trying to say is I think I'm actually using the wrong sort of logic. I think what I'm trying to think of holes in each thing, where instead I should be trying to play to the game, because this is a game that these cards are from. So I think
Can
I've
you
got
see
to
through
try.
them?
No.
Because I can actually see the light through the other side.
Oh right, that'd be. I would tell you if I'd missed that, then that'd be an opportunity missed, wouldn't it?
Before you carry on with your logic, may I quickly interrupt? And,
Oh, you're going to bring up the card that
oh, I didn't click on anything, I'm sure.
you basically. I'm going to take the
Yeah,
mouse.
take the mouse away. So, yeah, it's all right. So, a fake story that I was going to put in until
Well,
I
you
gave
picked out randomly and then looked at it.
and then look at it, that I realised was absolutely terrible. It was swimming pool closed after pranksters fill it with crocodiles. I mean, just in that, you'd just think fake.
Quite frankly, if you're going to, unless if you are a TV show, like TV prank show, you're not going to get crocodiles on the mark, are you?
I must say, pranksters went too far in the USA when they filled a public swimming pool with live crocodiles. The teenagers ran into a pool whilst it was full and threw the crocs in, causing complete mayhem, and everyone scrambled out of the water. The crocs' mouths had been taped up to prevent any serious damage, but swimmers were unaware of this until much later. That's just fucking awful.
Yeah.
That's just a terrible... Because you think, well, that means that the guys would have had to tape them up themselves. How did that not cause terrible injury?
Yeah.
And after that happened...
Well, the only way that they could probably take them up themselves is if they were like actual professional zookeepers. So at that point, it's like that's just you're
just evil.
Yeah.
And you're basically saying, I don't want this job anymore.
I don't want no. You're saying I don't want these crocodiles anymore.
Yeah.
You can have them.
You can have them now. They're your problem. I can't deal with them. So that was the one that I didn't include because I just thought, geez Louise, it's awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So, thoughts?
Now, I'll just quickly I teased my logic there, try and play it as a game. I'm just going to try and break down each of my thought process.
Sure. Do you want to...
For 2 of them. The concrete one, as much as it sounds, it does sound odd, the fact that it's having to be a big old hole that you've got himself stuck in. But I think it could perhaps be a case where he's waist deep, not necessarily standing upright. If he'd have fallen in, he might be up to his waist, but he might not necessarily be standing completely upright, will he?
Tragically, he's actually upside down.
Oh God!
He's very tight, but he's upside down.
Oh, that'd be a sad state of affairs.
Jeez, actually thinking about that.
What if
Assuming he wasn't that way round because they got him out.
Well, he would have just suffocated, wouldn't he?
He would. You're wondering how do you get stuck? That's how you die.
Yeah.
You waist deep upside down. That's what happens. There you go. That was your question.
Well, no, it's neck deep upside down, really.
No, I think neck you'd be right because you would be able to push yourself out. But like if it's up to your waist, your arms are completely incapacitated.
Oh yeah, true.
Your legs have more kick and your arms have lift.
Maybe she goes to elbow length,
Elbow length.
as in about here.
Oh, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to get any lift from that either.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So we're now asking the question: what is the minimum depth you could shove someone upside down in concrete before they can't get out and die?
Well, there's always that allegedly that members of the mafia would take in somebody they didn't like, would put their feet in concrete to let it sit and then lob them in a river.
I believe that's true, Ethan. I think that would be true. The only problem is you'd have to. How would you keep them in a position where their feet would set in concrete for long enough? Unless I think the idea is they kill them.
Maybe
They kill them and then do the concrete thing. Although
But then again, you're carrying a dead body with concrete on its thing to. But then again, if you lob somebody alive in
the
there,
reason why I use
it's
reason
weird.
why I use concrete is because I think the body will when it drowns, it will float back up because it fills up with gases,
Yeah.
and then it will sink back down again. But
Oh no! Hang on, no, dead bodies float.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they start filling up with
yeah.
gases. So
Yeah.
when they're like maybe first dead, they'll sink, but then their bodies will start to gasify,
Yeah. So.
float back up, and I think they will eventually sink back down again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why they did the concrete thing.
Right. So I think, and
It wasn't working for the mafia.
Yeah,
This guy,
and it is the sort of thing, obviously, but I mean, it's good to know. But it's the sort of thing which I can imagine could happen.
Mhm.
The guy trapped in water stones.
Tourist trapped.
Tourist.
The American one called David Willis, which you didn't like. You found that offensive name.
Well, I'm also. It is just a quick question of why weren't there any staff checking the water stones? As in, once they've closed the doors,
Oh, right, yeah.
you could have staff in there who may have the key and then eventually lock it up. So what would he have been doing?
Took a book to the back.
He definitely did. It turns out he did get stuck in a book. But that was a squeaky sofa, by the way. I realise that sounds a bit.
Yeah, that's all right.
And then the last one, the toilet
Oh,
overflowing.
you also said about the Twitter thing. Why did you not call the police?
Yeah.
Maybe he just thought, maybe this would be better. You just tweet at Waterstones, hey, love your bookstore, can I leave now?
I think.
That would be funny.
And then the plane one, and the toilet overflowing.
Which one? Oh, which one? British Airways flight forced to land because of smelly poo.
Yeah. Again, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
And I think it could just be the case where they wanted that headline for the card. But in reality, it might not have actually been as dramatic as it sounds. It could just be a bit of a whiff coming into the cabin
Well,
and then the toilets
it was
overflowing.
simply just a liquid fecal matter.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
It
just
was
a liquid fecal matter.
A liquid fecal matter. The
Oh,
Timothy Broad story.
I've just realised they can't use air. I don't think you're allowed to bring aerosols on the planes. Because they're fire hazards, aren't they? So you couldn't just like...
Are you suggesting they like their farts?
No, what I'm saying is they couldn't like spray because you're not allowed to even breathe
Oh,
spray
right.
them.
Actually, I suppose so. And there's not much... Oh, actually, yeah, there's not much in terms of ventilation on a plane, is
No. Well, apparently that was the problem in the first place.
there? I know, but it's not, but it's not like they can open a window.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. You know, I think I remember hearing that in planes, they don't use conventional fire extinguishers. They use one that's actually banned that you're not allowed to use on the ground because it's too toxic.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's super effective at killing fires.
Yeah.
But in a plane, pretty much like you need the most effective there and then in that given
Yeah,
moment.
because otherwise, yeah.
Like you can't just have like, oh, this will do, because basically it's not like a building where you can leave and it's like a temporary measure. No, you're in a tin can floating in the sky. So they use like one that has a poisonous gas in it, and it's also okay because with you've got the
The oxygen masks.
I should use oxygen masks for this smelly fart.
But then the cabin decompresses, and then what do? You've used all your oxygen to not smell. Right. Okay. I'm gonna cut the thing.
Just deal with it.
I think that the tourists being stuck in water stones is the fake one. Yes, that's my final answer.
Should I do? How would you like me to reveal it?
You can reveal it however you like.
Eurovision way, where it's just like, oh, all right then. I'll just tell you straight away. Okay. I can tell you. Alright, which one have I not got? The one
you should really plan this ahead.
Yes. Okay, so I can tell you that on the 14th of March 2016, a British Airways flight forced to land because of smelly poo did indeed happen.
Okay.
So that was real.
That is real. I can see it.
You can have a look.
Okay, so
which one would you like next? Because either way, you'll find out your destiny.
Yes.
Which one would you like to know about? Concrete Man or Bookshop Man? Bookman.
Good superheroes. Wanky book man.
Well, he got stuck in a book at the back.
That'd be the book's pages getting stuck together, surely.
Very good point.
Oh.
Here's a terrible idea. Never lick paper. Your tongue will get stuck to it. It's because it absorbs all the moisture off your tongue and gets stuck.
Right, okay, there you go.
Because I'm an idiot.
Is that why people get their tongue stuck to lampposts? Because it's just missing cat signs on them?
It's missing what, sorry?
Missing cat signs on them.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my legs are twitching. Sorry.
Just reveal whichever one you want to
No,
reveal.
I want you to know. Which one?
Okay, right. Okay, I want to know the concrete one.
Concrete Man.
Because those are the two which I think it would have been really between.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that given that I'm glad that I wasn't full. That it turns out that the British Airways one, the flight one, is real.
Again, I think
because
it's
to me, because I feel like that would have just really annoyed me. The fact that it made so much sense and then it just wasn't real.
Mm-hmm.
I found logic holes in both of those two, but ultimately, I went. The main reason I went for the Waterstones one is because it's the least dramatic of the three.
Yes.
So I thought that the thing that's least dramatic, people are going to think it's real because it just makes sense. Sounds like something that would happen. But
you want to hear construction work?
Yeah. So I'm not going to be too. I'm going to be a bit annoyed the fact that I would have lost if this is fake, but I won't be walking out. So.
Okay. Well, on the 13th of January 2017, construction worker found the next day after setting himself on concrete did not happen.
Bollocks.
And it's fake. There was no concrete man. He died. He died.
That's what happened.
He was never found. He died.
No, he went all the way down in the concrete. Ends up being structurally integral.
This is a true tragedy. So it was true that an American tourist in London found himself trapped in Waterstone bookshop in London for 2 hours after it closed.
I'm going to hit your sofa with a Wii controller.
Oh, that's your Wii controller.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's not a euphemism, by the way.
Well,
for fuck's sake. I just... Before I get too angry, can we just move on?
We shall move on. He's not angry. Remember
just trying to keep it mellow.
He won't walk out.
No.
Unless he needs a wee, then I've caught him.
Bottom of the alternative.
We made it this far, but before we begin, have we run out of lemonade?
No.
Oh, can you pass me the
That's
lemonade?
the other bottle.
Can you pass me the other
There's
lemonade?
more than one bottle.
Just because this is a section all about music and sounds, I
Yes.
thought this would be a good opportunity to indulge the viewers in a little bit of sound. Now, we haven't done this in a little while, so I'm going to place this on here very gently.
You probably heard it at some point during the podcast, but
Yes,
you're going to go right up
I'm
and
going to
get a full
right.
audio experience.
So I'm going to give it a little bit of shape.
Not too much of a
Not
shake.
just enough to get...
That could break the microphone.
Shh, you ready? Let's get a little bit of a... Oh, is it going to happen?
There you go.
And then this sounds great though. Listen, ready?
Glug. Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
That isn't one of the songs that we've done.
No, it's not. It's a good song though. Another cover as well. So, I just wanted to indulge in a little bit of
In a bit of audio wizardry.
Wizardry.
You could
Some
say.
call it ASMR. I just say it's a lovely beverage. Shall we move on? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way of punning it into lemonade, but it doesn't really work.
That's all right.
Right, so what we do with Bottom Alternatives each week is we take a song or section of part of the song, look at the lyrics, take every lyric, make them the opposite of the word that they were, and bring them to here to our co-host, and it is our co-host's job to figure out the original song from the opposited lyrics. But Tim,
Yep.
one last question before we start off. Why is this section called Bottom of the Alternatives?
Well, Shaun, during
Tim loves doing this.
yes, I did. From the mid 20th century to early 21st century.
1950s.
Yeah, I know. Mid 20th century to early 21st century, there was a British Broadcasting Corporation show called Top of the Pops,
Yes.
where once a week, I think, or a couple of times during the week,
Or whenever they can
the
get
biggest
all-
bands at that time would perform live
quotes.
in front of a live audience.
Audience were not dead.
Yes,
There's just
they were not dead. Some were prematurely
it sounds like a kind of perverted sort of YouTube. You know, you get like these kind of music or like radio stations that have like these weird. You can do performances in kind of weird places. There's one where they just do it in their office. I think it's called Tiny Desk Studios. Apparently, it's quite good, but it sounds like a really perverted one of that. Where it's just whoever's promoting their next album just does a very brief set in a graveyard.
all right. Anyway, I was going to say, yeah, but the reason why, if you get the words Top of the Pops from the name of the show, Top of the Pops, and you reverse them, you get Bottom of the Alternatives.
There you go. It's clever.
So,
Now, do you want to go first, or do you want me
I want
to
to
go
go
first?
second.
Do you want to go second?
I do want to go
Okay,
second.
so I will go first.
Let's hear this.
So my bottom alternative is this.
Oh, I actually found last week's one.
Oh right.
You hate a person or a person hate you, therefore little is I dismantled French socialism.
No, I remember this one. It was the. Do you not remember what it was?
No, I can't remember it.
It was the Charles II song from Horrible Histories.
Oh, of course it was. Sorry. All right. Sorry. Anyway,
We take a range of songs.
let's hear the new Bottom of the Alternatives.
Okay. Hang on. Well, I think one of the words has kind of thrown me off. Oh no, he's right. Okay. Right. Or you're mute to yourself in the daytime, therefore you can remember. Stationary around your brick in front of a vape. Do need to death unrelated. Not very many lost the bungalow to ask. No one's unaware, unrelated. To an Australian peasant, to a heavenly cat. I can hear BBC News film from.
I can. I know, right?
It's like the almost satire jingle all over again.
Yeah. Right. I am completely
I
lost.
probably didn't pick up on the mics.
That's right. I'm completely lost. I need guidance. Begin the first
And then
line.
what you've got to do with bottom alternatives.
What's the first line?
Or you're mute to yourself in the daytime.
And I'm
Yes.
loud.
No.
Noise.
No.
Noisy.
Not. It's less mute as in like mute on a computer.
As in can't speak.
Yes.
Silent.
No, that's not the opposite, is it?
Alright, okay. Loud.
No, you just said that.
Enunciating. Yelling. Shouting.
You're being far too going far too
talking.
Yes, talking.
Fine. And I'm talking
It's just gone away. To yourself.
to
Myself.
and I'm talking to myself
In the daytime.
at night. I'm talking to myself at night,
Therefore, you can remember.
and I'm talking to myself at night, and
It's not and.
or
No.
because
Because
I'm talking to myself at night because
you
I
can
can't
remember.
forget.
Okay.
I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget.
People probably know at this stage. Stationary around your brick.
Stationary tools.
Now, you know what? I'll be willing to give you stationery.
Workshop.
No. Think stationery more as in
Pencil.
movement.
Oh, walking? Jumping?
It's back and forth.
Wow.
It's a tough one. It's one I could think of.
Stationary.
Stationary.
Yes.
Around.
Back and forth. Straight.
Okay, if you're going straight and there's something in the way, but you don't carry on going straight, you are going
To crash.
Oh my nose! Oh my chest! When it's sped up. We're going to crash!
Oh my chest! Oh my chest! Okay.
No, it's not a crash, but that was very good. God, don't give me the giggles now. Okay, we're not going to crash.
Yeah.
So you're going
Ahead, forwards, straight, direct,
through. There's back and forth through.
Mm-hmm.
Your brick.
My house.
Okay, Tim. Do you remember when we had a bit of a
Brain.
another word for brain?
Mind. Brick.
In front of a vape.
Behind
Yes.
the
It's probably said but
ciggy.
yeah, behind a cigarette.
Don't know this song.
Don't you?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. So it's,
you want to do the
the
other-
whole first line is, and I'm
And I'm talking to
to
myself at night because I can't
forget.
back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette.
I can't remember it. I really can't remember it.
Do you want to go through the other lines? Just
Let's
to
do
see
the
if
next
it can
line.
spark your memory?
Yeah, sure.
Do need to death unrelated.
Don't want to live.
No, right, it's don't want to, but it isn't live.
Death.
Because it isn't spelt with a TH.
Here.
Yes.
Don't want to hear.
Unrelated. Given it pops up as well, I'll tell you, unrelated is about it.
Don't want to
Hear
hear about it.
Not very many lost the bungalow to ask.
Many. Loads. Plentiful.
It's okay. There's a lot there, right? There's
Dozens.
There's a lot there, but it's the idea that they've got something that in this situation. Instead of not very many of them have lost the bungalow.
Not many lost the bungalow.
It's like all of them have lost the bungalow, but it's a more slightly wordier way of saying all of them.
Everyone.
Yeah, I'll give you that because it's every single one.
Every single one.
Lost the bungalow to ask.
Lost.
Lost. We
Found.
This got because we
Got.
discussed this.
Yeah,
Earlier.
got.
Which is bungalow.
House.
Now think about what a
Flat.
bungalow is.
Mansion. It's a one-floored house.
Okay, right. So if you've got a building with many floors, those buildings are called. Those floors are called.
Floors.
Another word for like a floor. So if you've got like a
Ceiling.
no, that's not a floor. Well, I suppose it's a floor for the one above. But
Yeah.
I'm going to see if you can figure this out. But okay, so when you've got like if you've got like a tall building, it's a something. Let's say a 5
Story. 2-story.
To ask, which is ask for ask.
Yeah.
Is tell.
Tell.
Every single one's got a story to tell.
Don't know it.
So just giving up?
Don't know what it is.
Like giving up, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But people are probably screaming at their podcast providers.
Exactly.
at
2
this
people
point.
mildly,
Yes.
mildly frustrated
But
at
2 is
my
better than
inadequacy.
none. The song was Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Know it.
You do?
I don't.
You don't know it by the lyrics though. You know it by bum ba-dum bum bum
Oh,
bum.
of course I do. But I just.
Bum ba-dum
Yeah.
bum bum bum.
Yeah, that's a classic
bum.
song and nobody knows the lyrics. Dum bum
I
bum
do.
bum bum bum. Loser.
I feel like you may have got it because the other one, because you've got all of the other lines apart from the other two, which is the last one is it's with no one's unaware, unrelated, which is everyone knows about it. To an Australian peasant to a heavenly cat, which is the actual lyrics is from the Queen of England to the Hounds of Hell.
Wouldn't know it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm a scrub. I don't know my lyrics.
No, I don't want no scrub.
Don't want scrub.
Scrub is a guy who can get no love from me. Riding in the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
That's not my song.
Good. That would be an anticlimax. So he's just what are you doing? You're googling something.
No, I'm making sure I'm trying to get my lyrics back. There we go.
Oh right.
Oh.
Don't
God.
lose your lyrics.
Oh God. Oh God, no. No. Okay.
Oh, Tim, when writing this down, was visibly cringing, and I think so. I'm worried that I'm just going to recoil in horror or whatever this might be. But in many ways, that adds to the tension. So go ahead.
You're not fooling a rag.
You're not fooling a rag.
None under asteroid fooling a rag to me.
A rag. What could rag be?
Yeah, I had to take a liberty because this is just one of those things where I can't think of a single opposite.
Right, okay, have you gone? Is that all of them? All of them?
That's not the whole thing. No,
Okay, well, go for the other two. Or however many are.
Falling low out Sahara, as in the Sahara Desert. Again, another liberty. When do I drop them when I can't? Later, you're not destroying out a ground. Only you're not singing it to me. Singing in air quotes.
Oh, right, okay. Never knew there was an emphasis on it. Right, so let's start from the beginning.
Let's start from the beginning.
I feel like there could be some things that I can try and get, but it's...
Yeah.
Right, so the first
Actually, I think the name of the song is in the very first line.
Okay, well, here we go.
There you go, so that's fine.
See if I can figure out the first line.
You win.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God. You're not fooling a rag.
I'm...
No.
There.
No.
Is it just your?
It's we.
We're...
Not. Ignore the not because it's just we're.
Okay,
so I'm saying
we're...
You're not, so it's we're.
And it's falling...
Falling, yeah. So what's it falling?
As in, what? As in falling as in, like, falling down? Right.
Yeah.
Rising?
Oh, good point. That's probably more
Jumping?
opposite. It's kind of... What happens... It's a brief period of time between rising and then falling. There's the
floating.
Oh, another word for floating. A bit more active.
Hovering.
Actively flapping.
Flying.
There you go.
Actively flapping.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Actively flapping. That's what we should call.
We're flying.
Yeah. A rag. A rag.
A rag.
Yeah. A.
Oh,
is just the. And then rag.
We're flying the shirt.
No.
Trousers.
It's a material based It's a material based.
Carpet.
Ooh, no.
Is it a magic carpet?
No, it's not. It's flag. We're fine.
Oh!
That's why I was actually cringing.
Is this a fucking like a World Cup song or like a Eurovision song?
This is the 2007 British song for Eurovision.
Oh God, I'm remembering it.
You ready?
No, are you gonna play it?
No, I'm not gonna play it. Okay. We're flying the flag all over the world, flying the flag for you. And then I skip the next line because it's not as funny. It's not as cringeworthy. It's flying high in Amsterdam. Why don't you catch us? If you can, catch us if you can.
Oh my God.
We're cruising in the sky.
Oh my God.
And we're singing it for you.
So, instead of being the opposite for sing, you just put singing in the air quotes. Forgive me, but could you not do that with every single word?
Yeah, I could, but I just
If anything, you've kind of broken the meta here.
No, but I just thought singing an emphasis because They're calling it swinging. They're calling it singing right now.
Yeah.
It's not really singing, so I would call it
Imagine,
singing.
what would I have got for that? I would just end up going for like screaming or bleating or
Well, yeah, I'll say they're all kind of right, let's be frank. We're screaming.
I feel like this might be the reason why we've lost, because it's like why we've lost all the time. Because like flying a flag, that's so colonial.
Bloody awful. And this is the beginning of the song, right? So it's meant to sound like an air host / air hostess, and it says, "This is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you aboard this Eurovision flight. The duration will be 3 minutes exactly. Now sit back and relax and enjoy the flight." Ba 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 yeah yeah
This is
yeah
all-
yeah.
this is
Duty
all
free,
of-
madam. Ba ba
Oh,
ba
for fuck's sake.
ba 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 ba. We're flying. What was it? We're flying the flag all over the world. We're flying the flag to you, but London to Berlin, because I guess I was in Germany. All the way from
Germany won a Eurovision. Are you
maybe
sure?
no, it's just random.
Could be a rhyming word.
No, there's no rhyming. This is London to Berlin, all the way from Paris to, I guess it's really forced, Tallinn.
Tallinn?
Tallinn.
Oh, that would have been where there is. That's in Finland.
Tallinn.
I think so.
From London to Berlin, all the way from Paris to Tallinn, Helsinki to Prague, don't matter where we are. Yeah. No,
I know, but I'm hoping it's ARG.
No.
It should be ARG.
Flying high in Amsterdam.
So
Why didn't you catch us if
2007,
you can catch us?
2007.
Should we just
Googling
play
where
it?
Eurovision
Should we
was.
just play it out loud? Because
No.
we get demonetised.
No. I'm googling 2007 Eurovision.
I do respect the end of the song. They know people are going to leave, so they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, your exits are here, here and here."
Your exit are these earplugs.
Yeah. To fasten.
It was in Finland.
Yeah.
In fact, it was in Helsinki.
But Helsinki wasn't even mentioned.
Wasn't it?
No, it just said
What was the place you said?
Tallinn.
No, the one after.
No, there was no
Something to
Helsinki.
Prague, going.
Yeah, it was Prague. It was from Helsinki to
There you
Prague.
go.
Sorry, on to Prague. Yeah.
I don't know why Tallinn.
Don't know.
I think Tallinn is it. Actually, let's just check. Has it spelled? How's Tallinn spelled?
T-I-double-L.
T-I?
Oh, sorry. T-A-double-L-I-double-N. Yeah. Well.
Okay, no, it's not.
Oh,
Apologies.
where is it?
It's the capital of Estonia.
As you do. Oh God, no.
I apologise to any Estonians.
Yeah. Do you know where it said duty free, madam?
Yes.
That part. There's another bit where it does that. Do you want to hear it? So it goes.
Oh God.
Ba 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 yeah. Some salty peanuts, sir. Ba 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 da da da. Do you know we came joint second to last with France? Do you know who we beat?
Germany?
No, Ireland.
Ireland. Oh God.
It's probably Jedward at that point.
No, Germany wouldn't have come out until that point.
No.
Do you want to know who won the 2007 Eurovision? Because it's got the Wikipedia part.
Actually, do you know something tragic? I think that song did better than this year's competition. What did we get this year?
12 points.
Yeah, this one got 20 or 19 or something. Sorry,
2019.
19. Sorry, 19.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Do you want to know which country won the 2007 Eurovision?
Sure.
Serbia.
Huh.
There you go.
There we go.
And on that note, I think.
Thanks, Graham Norton, for your cynicism for all these years.
Thank you.
I hope he was presenting it, and I can imagine he just went.
You're probably cheering him on, but you know.
I think he was just like, "This is just too cab." And I'm Graham Norton. This is just too cab.
Can I just point out the brilliant, inadvertent, brilliant phrase that you just said there? It's like you just said, "That's too camp," and I'm Graham Norton.
It's not offensive, is it?
No, well, no, but I just love the idea of it. Anyway, I think that brings us to the end of the podcast, doesn't it, Tim?
Yeah, I thank fuck for that.
Yes.
Just remember, your X's are here, here, and here.
Back button there, the refresh button up there,
Yeah.
and the red X at the top.
And the bunged up toilet is at the back. Please, we may be
Don't
landing.
please don't block it. It'll overflow, and we'll have to leave and go back to Heathrow.
I think that'd be. Oh God! Oh my god! Imagine if like
Callbacks.
British. I wonder if British Airways had anything to do with that song being commissioned.
I hope not.
I really hope not. Imagine every time they take off, it's just like.
Oh, but this will come through the intercom. I quite like the idea that it's like an elevator version, kind of music lit version of it in the airport.
Oh, right, when you're in the lounge.
Or like a slow, smooth jazz one. And then somehow a tenor sax has to somehow come up with a phrase. Yeah, somehow a tenor sax has to say "salted peanuts, madam."
No, that'd be trombone. Yeah. Or a what's the thing they use for the puppet? What's his name? The one who just goes. He's like
the little thing they
little thing, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'd use that as in the song. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going mad here.
We can't sort this song anymore. It's pretty.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that brings us to the end of the podcast. So thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed it, then please do subscribe to whatever you happen to be listening on. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at twointhebushpodcast@gmail.com. Remember, it's TWO twointhebushpodcast@gmail.com, or you can get us on Twitter at twoinbushpod. Is there anything else I've got to say? Oh yeah, give us a review.
Yes.
Whatever you have to, or comment or anything. Just we want some feedback. We need good feedback and bad feedback equally as much, because we need to learn.
Yes, we need to.
Despite this is the 42nd episode, we are still relatively new to the realm of podcasting.
Isn't that weird? I wonder how. I'm interested to know. You know, Rhett and Link.
Yes.
Good Mythical Morning or whatever. I think it was the Link. It had a different name before. It had something to do with Lincoln.
Good mythical. Good. Good morning, Cheerlink.
Cheerlink, yeah.
Cheerlincoln.
Good morning, Cheerlincoln.
Which is like a planty Lincoln.
Yeah, it was like a plant pot Lincoln. I think.
You don't get it.
I don't get it. But I wonder.
I'd love to have a plant pot Churchill though.
I'm interested to know what their first viewership were like, because obviously now the viewership would have been skewed.
Well, I think they would have carried around some of the views from the their local trailers and commercials and stuff.
Yeah, they worked in television.
Because they did that first, yeah.
Yeah, and also they probably had the Rhett and Link channel beforehand.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see how many went over. Yeah, but anyway, I saw whenever I try and do outros, we end up getting sidetracked. So I always struggled as a place to start layering in the outro music. So we'll end it here. No,
I'm saying start your proper outro where I don't interrupt.
I know, that means I've got to
now.
Oh, but what? No, because I've already said all the things.
Well, say them again.
No.
What about the email bit?
I've already said that. So, on that unorganised note, Tim, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from me.